All right, everyone, welcome back to another Low Expectations podcast. I'm here with my co-host Steve, and today our guest, BMX pro rider and one of our longtime friends, Chad Kerley.
Yes,
Chad,
sir.
welcome.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited. You're our first BMX guest on this podcast, so
it's an
that's
honor.
something we wanted to do. We wanted to get music people, photographers, and BMX people, all different things that we're into. So
Sure.
we want to be like diverse and like the types of people we have in here that do different things. You know, so
I mean, sure, that's like a base of your guys' world too. You guys came, you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
From
We all came from BMX.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit! Almost knocked the table over.
Hell yeah.
So, what's good? What's up? What have you been up to, man? I haven't talked to you.
Chilling.
Honestly, I haven't seen you in
That's
years.
what we were
I didn't even
just
know you guys
saying.
knew each other.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we knew each
How
other.
do you guys know
From
each
the
other?
BMX days,
From
just
riding bikes.
trips and
Just
shit.
riding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't his TM at any point?
No, but I remember though that he was a TM.
He's TM for everyone.
When I,
everyone
like-
but me and you except that's
I
it.
remember when he was TM though. That's
Yeah.
like I do remember those days. And then your brother, he was shredding it.
Yeah, my brother.
Matty.
Yeah. I remember the first time I met you. I mean, I think we might have. I knew about you maybe online or whatever back then, but I remember the first time I met you was at a contest we had at Rye Airfield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
that was-
I
I stayed with Zach early, I think. back
it was
then.
Zach. Yep, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
name
shout
I
out
haven't
Zach,
heard
really.
in
That
a
was
long
dope.
time
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, shout out.
Zach was sick. Yo, he
was
probably still
sick.
is, honestly.
Hell yeah. I think he'd be surfing and stuff too.
That makes
Yeah, I
total
think so. He
sense.
was big into surfing and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out him because I was like staying
Wait,
at his
when?
house.
If you went to Rye Airfield,
Yeah.
how old were you? Like 13, 12?
Nah, I was probably like 15, 14 or 15
Oh,
maybe.
you were traveling without your parents at this point.
Yeah, I was young. I was
Yeah,
young. No,
yeah,
that
it
was one of
was-
my first.
Yeah, it was probably
contests
like
that.
2000, maybe 5, 6, 7-ish days.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
around
I'm
that.
not good
around
with years
then.
either.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I know. It's
It
everything.
didn't sound like
remembers the
about
years.
that. Like
Everything becomes a
2008
blur.
even. Something around there, but yeah, that was good times. It
So
was
that-
so cold out there.
I know.
I'm not
right?
used to that
I know.
shit
I haven't
either.
been
In
back,
Cali, like-
back in the cold over there in a long time.
Yeah,
I like the Cali life.
But yeah, just through BMX, bro. Just been doing the same shit. Just like now, I got a family, so
Yeah,
Just
I
been
saw that. You
doing
have.
that now,
Oh, you're
like-
married, right?
yeah,
Married.
married,
And you have a
got
kid.
My wife, yep, and my son Kai. So
How old's your
just
son
on
now?
Dad mode. He's one. It's like 17 months.
Okay. Wow.
He's getting there. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and,
Congratulations.
Thank
yeah.
you.
No.
Yeah.
So how do you like it? How do you like being a dad and all that part of
I
life?
love it. You know, I don't really think much about, that kind of stuff before you're, and going to do it and handle it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Now that I'm really doing it, it's like I love it so much, and I couldn't have expected to love it this way. You
Yeah.
know, I would have been so intimidated and just like, nah, I'm straight off having
It's
kids.
crazy,
They're
right?
like,
yeah.
just-
I don't have any kids or
You
anything,
know?
but I was with a girl. I've known her now for like 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
And they're still in my life. But we were together for like 7 years. But she had a son that I met
Okay.
when he was 5, and
Yeah.
we lived together. So I was like dad every day.
So you already know.
And his dad was in his life, has always been in his life. It was cool. We always got along and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I was the one there every day, and he's deaf and autistic, and and I still see him. And we've been broken up for years now, but yeah, they're still a big part of my life, and he's a
Yeah.
big part of my life. Like it'll never not be a part of my life.
Because that
So
bond
he
is
still calls me
different.
dad and stuff like that, and like he's like in sign
Wow.
language or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
I still see him a lot, and
You know
Yeah.
how to
I
do
didn't know
sign
that.
language?
yeah, a
No
little
way.
bit.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like I kind of got
That's a big part of your life.
Yeah, that's a huge part of life. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people know about that part of my life,
Sure.
honestly. But yeah, it was a big life changing thing, and yeah, it's hard. It wasn't even my kid, but I stepped right into that role. Like
You did
he
though.
became my kid like right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
But
Yeah.
I kind of love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I used to say it all the time. Like, this little kid is like my best friend for real. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
and just
awesome.
being that fresh into life and not having anything, knowing anything. It's just so amazing to just see him and like just wonder what he's thinking, and just everything's new to him. And
Yeah.
like, trucks go by, he's all stoked on trucks
Yeah.
and monster trucks on TV, like just things that it's just refreshing to see like a reaction of being so
Yeah.
like
And you get to teach him
fresh.
all this stuff,
Yeah,
and like, you know what I mean.
At
You
times
can
I'm like, I wish I didn't even show him a bike though, because he loved bikes so much. Like,
Why wouldn't you?
because
what's
his ass,
the problem with that?
because we be out there every time, bro. I could go around the block at least like 4 times a day. Like, he's trying to get on the e-bike and just ride on it, and then he sit in the garage whining at the bike, and then I hunch my back over and roll him around and ride him all over the place. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes I'm
If
like,
it changes,
damn, bro,
you're gonna be
crazy.
upset. If
Yeah.
it changes, when you're gonna be at one point, you're gonna be
No,
like,
that's what they say.
yeah,
too,
you're gonna be like,
that's what they
just
say.
ask me to
Yeah,
come
that's
ride.
what-
Like,
that's what they
and then
say.
if he does continue to ride and he
Yeah.
goes like riding with his homies, that's gonna kill you.
I know.
You're gonna be like, wait,
I know.
wait, I'm not invited.
I'm the
Because
one
in the
I'm
moment,
the
it
one
seemed
who's
like-
riding with you.
Yeah, yeah, you ain't lying.
I remember when I started riding like with like Edwin and all them. I
Yeah.
remember seeing the transition with my dad where he started getting hella jealous. You know what I mean? And I never understood it. I was just like, you
Never
know, like
thought of it like
yeah, I never understood it because he'd be like. Fuck, you know, like he wouldn't talk
Who's
shit
going
about
with?
nobody,
Yeah.
but he'd just be like, I could tell he'd be like, why is he going, like whatever.
Yeah.
But now, as I'm older, I'm like, damn, I should have probably just been like, just get a fucking bike and come out
Yeah.
with us. You know, like I probably would have been embarrassed. I was like
I know,
13, but
nobody
like
trying to have their dad
I
with
remember seriously when I became a teenager and my dad being like,
Yeah.
very like, the fuck, like why the fuck's he want to hang out with these dudes? Not, you know, like.
That's true.
But no, that's sick that he fucking wants to ride the bike. You know,
Yeah, he loves it.
don't put the
It's
surfboard
crazy.
or skateboard in front of him because
Nah, I ain't.
nah,
it's just a
keep the
bunch of
bike.
bikes,
Yeah, keep the bike in front of him.
I'd say,
Whatever you
I'd
wanna
say
do.
everything.
Yeah,
Nah,
try
nah,
what you
nah.
wanna do.
You don't
do.
surf, right?
Me?
Yeah, nah. Fuck that. That's what I'm saying. Keep the
I'm not trying to get
surfboards
no-
away from him
I'm not trying to
unless
get in the
you know.
water. He
unless-
do like the water though. It's crazy.
That's when
He
Uncle
like-
Dennis gets to take care of
Yeah,
him. Go, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Uncle
yeah.
Dennis could go bring him surfing, like
For
whatever, you
real.
know.
You ain't lying.
That's why we got. That's the one cool thing about you having a kid. You got mad uncles now.
Yeah.
Hella uncles. When I
Yeah.
went to the Vans thing, dude,
Yeah.
I didn't even tell you. We showed up. Everyone had a kid. Every single person
crazy.
had a fucking kid. I was like, yo, this is gnarly.
like what
Like,
it's like
but it was
now,
cool
too.
because everybody was so stoked, like saying
Yeah.
hi, like you know, like I said, it's everyone's uncle, you know, like and like the kid, the Pat Casey's kid.
Yeah. He's-
I don't know how I would handle that at his age, but like he's just smiling
No, he's
around everyone. You know what I
he's
mean?
awesome.
He's
just
a little,
like,
he's a little wild man.
yeah,
yeah,
I saw him
yeah.
running around X Games, and he's just like wearing his, you know, the Pat Casey shirt, and
Yeah.
and it was like it's amazing because everyone's treating him like you know, like it's their kid, like their little
Yeah.
nephew. You know, like it's really cool. And
Yeah, he always ran around like that too. You know, he knows everybody at the contest. Even
Yeah.
though Reed is so cool like that. So.
I don't really know him, but I saw him running around smiling. I was just like, this is dope.
I mean, I actually love seeing that with you know, Pat and Reed, like how he was just riding with them and like the progression, just even watching on Instagram, like just the progression of him riding. You know what I mean? Like as a little kid, like getting better and better and doing stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. And then he's super young. You know what I mean? So he's really in the BMX thing like super early.
Yeah. I think he's
that's
already
pretty crazy.
backflipping and shit. He went to Woodward with Axel and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
I heard he was, but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. He got
How
it
old
in
is
him.
he?
He got it in his blood. I don't know.
10 or something, or maybe younger than 10.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't want to say the wrong.
I would
wrong,
think, yeah, I would. It's just time flies. It's crazy.
Well,
you know
when
what I mean?
he showed me the video of his kid, I was like, "How long you had that kid already?" He's like, "A year." I'm like, "Dude, it feels like 3 years already." I don't know why. It feels like
Yeah.
you know, like it feels like everyone was just had a
Time-
kid forever. Yeah. Well, congrats on that. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. It's-
I remember when you were fucking that young.
I know that's what I'm. You know what I mean? Like I met you. You were like a little kid when I met
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? At that first contest, and I'm like, now you're a fucking family man. That's a crazy thing to see. But that's what his life is about.
Well,
That's
it's
what
like
happens.
crazy just in riding, like the cycle of everything, like being like the young one in it, and then now like there's just so many young shredders like younger than me that might have watched some stuff that I've done, and
Yeah.
just the cycle of it is just so crazy to me, and it's like it's hard to keep up with everybody, you know.
It is.
So it's like I got to remain true to what I do and remain true to how I approach, you know, how I might look at a spot and do things. 'Cause it's hard not to be like thinking like I should be doing something that I've just watched that's crazy.
Yeah, no, you
it's like,
can't
I
do
gotta
it,
push
'cause-
myself, but I've never tried to do that because it'll shake me off. Like you
Yeah.
can watch Garrett's footage or watch something that he does in real life and put your ass down thinking about should I be on that? But it's like
I mean,
never that.
Nah, but
you
it's just
know?
like you were just showing
It
us
ain't never
music
that,
for
yeah.
the whole time leading up to this, and you the whole time you're like, I just kind of got to find my flow, and it's the
Still
same
gotta-
thing. You got to
you know?
fit in. Like that's why I said this on the first podcast we did, but like hanging out with Garrett is really intimidating if you
Yeah.
feel like you got to compete. But then
it
when
ain't-
I think it's a humbling experience hanging out with him because you start to realize you're fucking. You're like oh I'm this part of the puzzle,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, like so you don't have to overdo it. But I was gonna say let's go back in time to like fucking when I've watched a couple of interviews. You do explain like how you started street riding and all that shit. It was shout out LaShawn, right? You
Yeah.
started street riding with LaShawn.
Yep.
But before that was racing.
So you
Yeah.
raced, right? And
Yeah, I
you raced
started
with
out
LaShawn
racing.
too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
LaShawn, yeah. We were
So
on
who-
Hyper together.
Yeah.
We were on Hyper.
Who got you into racing and why that path? Let's start there.
Okay, racing. Shit, who got me into racing? I got introduced to it through like my preschool teacher, which was hella random.
Yeah.
But her kids had raced too, so she just kind of like, my parents obviously told her I rode or something, and they just suggested bring me to the track, and I never stopped going. And it was just
Really?
like, I just kept going.
That's dope.
Every Wednesday and Sunday or whatever the days were, like I just never stopped. And it's like, I don't know, I think my parents might have just like known I loved riding bikes, and that they didn't even know there was a sport that attained to that kind of thing. So once we got brought to that situation, it was like, okay, this is cool, this is close to our house, and we're gonna take you here. And it's just like,
and it's not a bad sport to get into because it's like
cool.
shows you discipline. You have to, like all that shit. I never got into racing, but like that shit's real. You know?
It's
I
like the
never really-
competitive side.
Yeah,
you know?
I
It's
really
like-
wish I really got into it too,
Yeah.
honestly, because I feel like everybody that grew up racing has like this. That's like I feel like style wise and like it's just
bike control. It's just
so
bike
much
control.
bike
Yeah,
control.
that's
Like
what
I
it
even like
was.
even like I see your Instagram, all the time anyway. But like I was just like went through the other day and just was watching clips. I'm like, the way you just manual through fucking trick to trick to trick, like fucking video game shit. I'm like, that's from racing. You know what I mean?
it
Like for
is,
real,
bro.
like that
Yeah.
teaches you early on all that shit and like the control and balance and everything.
Yeah, so like I was like clipped in super young. I was probably like 5 or 6 already clipped in.
So you started racing at 5 or 6?
I was already racing at 4, but 5 or 6, I was like winning shit, like competitively, like racing at 6 for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I started riding BMX till I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah,
Really,
same.
That's like when I quit racing to do.
So you had all the fundamentals.
Yeah.
By the time I was 13, yeah, it was like I just wanted to.
Did you ever
learn
get
tricks,
sponsored
like-
for racing or no?
Yeah, from racing. Like I was on Hyper for a little bit, and then I was on Formula, and then I think Monster might have like sponsored that.
You were
team,
part of
but
the
it wasn't,
army?
Like, nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. That.
Where's the tattoo?
It was definitely not that. Nah, hell no. But
So
then Oakley, I think Oakley was plugging me for a little bit. No, I'm straight.
Yeah,
Oakley was plugging me for a little bit.
I
So
want
that
to
was a
like
cool little
the
plug.
racing thing too. Like
Yeah.
that, I feel like helped my little brother too. Like he didn't race BMX bikes, but he was riding BMX bikes. We were riding, right? We were going to the skate park.
Yeah.
And he was young. He was doing everything super young too. Like 7, 8 years old. He was
Yeah.
hitting the box jumps, doing like Supermans and like flaring all around or whatever.
See.
But then he kind of stopped riding or slowed down riding BMX for a while and started racing dirt bikes.
Oh, he did.
And then he raced dirt bikes for a few years or whatever. And then I just remember, I was hurt. I think I had a torn ACL at the time
Yeah.
or whatever. And he's like, "Yo, you gotta come down to the skate park and check me out riding." I think I got pretty good or whatever. Like
I think
said
I
some
got
shit.
pretty good.
And I go to the skate park and I'm standing on top of like the quarter, and all of a sudden he just like over my head like
Yeah.
blasts a tabletop. But I'm like,
Confidence.
holy shit! Like where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like
It's crazy because I
Yeah.
always wanted to ride dirt bikes. Like
Yeah.
that's really originally what I wanted to do. Like what I looked up to so much, like Jeremy McGrath and like Ricky Carmichael, like watching that
wait,
on TV. Like,
you watched them while you were racing, or you got?
during
Oh,
racing
okay,
days.
and
that
then
was
you were
like
like,
what I really
"That's
wanted
dope."
to do. Yeah, but it was too expensive to really attain that too for my parents. Like to get a dirt bike and
Yeah.
then get a new size when you're bigger, and then new
then you have to
so it was
rebuild
like,
them every time they
so
break.
I had a couple
That's-
dirt bikes, but
yeah.
I didn't get into it,
Yeah.
you know. But that's what I really wanted to do was like, fuck, I wanted to race fucking
It's-
Supercross.
it's
you
a-
know?
it's-
so that's
it's
why I
hard,
had goggles. Like I always wanted. When I ended racing, I always had like goggles on and like James Stewart ones, like the Oakleys, and
So you're gonna
just the whole
start
shit was just.
your son with the
Super
racing.
I don't know if I'm gonna start him with that. I mean,
Hit him
I
with
think
the
it's a
dirt
good
bike
base.
immediately.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
It gets
Vroom,
expensive.
vroom.
Like that's
Yeah,
why
I know.
my brother only did it
does.
for a not super long time
Yeah.
because it just got too expensive for my
You're
mom
gonna go
to
through
do,
tires, engines,
Yeah,
and
rebuilding the dirt bike after every
all
race
this
and stuff
and
like
then
2
your
dirt
dad
bikes
has
to
become a
maintain.
mechanic.
A
and then
trailer, a
it's-
truck, driving
nah.
every weekend,
Yeah.
staying
You
over,
know
like
what it
sleeping in the
is?
trailer at the
Yeah.
track and shit. Like it's
So
a
that
lot.
kind of stuff I did, but with racing bikes. So my
Yeah.
dad would like drive me to Oklahoma to like Tulsa for like Grands or like Reno for a national here or like so many places,
Yeah.
you know. And we would stay overnight, and we didn't have a camper, but we'd have like a hotel or whatever. And
So when
was
you were
just the
sponsored
most.
by these companies for racing, did they pay you, or what was
no,
it, or
they
just free
wasn't
bike
paying
parts
me.
and stuff?
Free stuff. And
I was gonna
then-
say, how do you get a check when you're 7 years old?
Nah, they wasn't paying me, but I would win like stamps. Like you just save stamps and you could turn it into money and shit. Like you could buy it, but like
Explain
What
that.
do you mean? Yeah, I don't know
there's
about this.
stamps when you win. So like back, I don't know if they even do that shit anymore, but they give you like a book of stamps if you won and you saved them and they were worth however much and you could turn them into money. But it was like
How do you turn them into money?
Because I don't know. It was weird, bro. NBA,
I think your dad was just giving you money every time you got to 10.
It was like that though. You stack as many as you can on a card and you turn them in, and you could turn them in for shit.
To
It was
who?
weird at the track.
Oh, okay. And
You
they
go
were
back
like,
to the track, and they're like vouchers or whatever it could be. But
most
like
of the time you got
$50.
shin pads. Like, all right.
I don't know. Yeah, some whack shit, but it wasn't like that. Like, you're not getting paid.
It's like Chuck E.
from
Cheese.
it.
You got all
Yeah, like,
tickets.
it was,
Hey, that's
it
dope.
was
That's
an
ill.
incentive as a kid. You like save your
I'm just
fucking
curious
stamps,
because I've never been in that world.
Yeah, I never knew about
And
that.
I know
shit.
Sealy used to do it, so that's the
Yeah.
only little bit I knew about it. And his grandpa used to love that shit. Like,
Yeah.
the parents love, like,
For
doing it. It's
sure.
like more like a sport, you know?
But I think the sponsors helped with travel maybe at that time, but not like I wasn't never getting paid like that.
Yeah, that's
you know,
dope.
So
He's
it
7
was
years
cool.
old.
No, yeah, it was
Send me a
just like-
box of fucking
I was just
Hershey
little.
bars.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was never on that. I just wanted to ride, bro,
Yeah.
and I got into that shit just trying to jump. So it just became competitive because I guess that's just like who I am. But it just became, like we're gonna do this. We're not gonna waste our time being at the track. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna seriously.
Yeah,
do
why
this
drive
shit.
to Oklahoma
Yeah, it's
for
like-
2 days and fucking
And we're not
try to
coming out
lose?
here like, yeah, and gonna lose. We're
Yeah.
not driving back I'm not about to hear that shit all the way back home. You know,
Yeah.
my dad was pretty involved with that shit too. Not like super race dad, but definitely a race dad.
Yeah.
You think
So I
the
wasn't
parents
trying
were
to let
taking
him
bets
down.
on the side?
I don't think they was taking bets. They was worried about their own kid for sure. So
Yeah.
it was like just that whole nature of just being in that element. And I was like, I low key got burnt out of, because I had raced so hard to get to the top of it that once I was at the top and then kids got that fast, it's like starting again to be number one again, and especially at that age, like kids were hitting growth spurts before me. Like I had to train twice as hard with my dad to like keep up with kids at that time, to keep that. It was just like, it wasn't as fun to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I knew I obviously loved the bike, but not what I was doing on it.
And that
Like,
does happen when it starts to become
Yeah,
like
it
too
was
much
just
like
too
of a
much.
job mentality.
It was
becomes
competitive, bro, like-
that's kind of what happened. Like even when I moved to California,
Yeah.
BMX was everything to me, and then 2 years of doing TM shit or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
like, this sucks. Like I don't want to. You know what I mean?
It's just-
Like
you just
I'm not
realize-
riding anymore. I'm driving everyone to a spot, and I have to
Yeah.
sit there and film. It's like I don't even ride my bike. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
It's hard to, yeah. That's why I always try to say with my shit, like, try to show the culture side. I don't really enjoy going, like, I'm not going out to ride for 4 hours to ride the whole 4 hours.
4 hours.
I'm going to spend 2.5 talking to you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to hit the feeble hard.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, that's like what I enjoy.
Yeah,
and
like, I
stuff.
want to ride. I want
But
to
yeah,
sit
when you
around,
put-
shoot the
Yeah.
shit and stuff like
But
that.
when
no,
you're
no, it's
fucking
like,
scrambling, picking up
we
the
need
dudes.
this content.
Yeah.
We need to update the
And
blog.
especially at your
You know what I
time
mean?
too,
Like,
when you were doing all that, it was a weird time because
Yeah,
everybody was
right.
anti what you guys are, not what you guys are doing, but you knew the web was great, but
Yeah.
everybody was like, no,
Yeah.
stop it, you're killing my vibe, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
But I mean, even that too. Like I had there was a lot of friction because I'm like, no, let's do something more. You know what I mean? Like
Substantial.
Substantial.
Yeah.
Like it's cool that we're getting stuff and putting it out on fucking the updating the blog with fucking new clips and stuff like that. But like, let's work on a bigger project that's more meaningful. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was kind of a lot of stuff I get too, and like. The company I was working for, we just didn't see eye to eye on things on a lot of shit.
you put
know?
out a lot of content during that time, and that's what I remember.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, I did.
you were on it, you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was watching. For sure.
Yeah.
But back to the racing thing. So we're racing. You sponsored, fucking, you're traveling, and then you said you weren't feeling it no more.
Yeah. Just got over that shit. Just from point A
And
to
what
point B.
LaShawn was like, yo, bro, so come crack a 40 with me on the street.
LaShawn?
Or what he was showing you the
still been
video.
Yeah,
racing
who got you
too.
into like street? Or did you go street or did you go dirt riding?
I went dirt. Cause
Yeah.
I went from dirt to dirt, from racing to just like
That was the
translate
trade?
it so easily. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit trails. Like I'm gonna
I
hit
feel like
dirt
that's what
jump.
most racers do. They go right to
Yeah.
dirt jumping. Yeah.
But I wasn't never the type of person to like be trying to do tricks in the air. Like that just was a little too. So I like hitting all the jumps, but I wasn't trying to like
Yeah.
do no tricks. And for me, like doing stuff closer to the ground just was safer. That's why I do the kind of shit I do. I feel like it
Yeah,
got me
yeah.
into that kind of style. But I don't know. Like I always knew Dennis through racing, so I was already watching footage of like, I guess it could be like contest footage at that time myself. But the real core BMX shit, like LaShawn was like the one to show me that kind of stuff, and like Tammy and like hanging out like during.
And
that
you met
era.
LaShawn through racing?
Through
and
racing, through a friend that
And
used
then
to
he
race.
took you to the
named
skate
Tyler.
park? Or so who took you to skate park? Or you
There
just
was
went?
a skate park close by, but maybe I think I just went because it was so close. But
Yeah,
like,
because it goes, what, dirt, park,
you know,
then
it was street shit. You know,
All right.
but it was just like that's just pretty much how the the how it got, you know, laid out for me. But LaShawn showed me all these videos of Animal, Scavenger, all this shit. Like, put me on the real shit where I was like, I'm trying to ride at night. Like, you want to ride right now? Like, it, like just that vibe of like, bro, this shit is hard. Like, that's what took it to the next level of like, I really want to do it.
It's a culture aspect.
Yeah. So it was beyond like, you know, any of the tricks or do-tour stuff. It wasn't double backflips and tail whips or none of that shit. It was like, bro, this shit hard.
It's just
like,
fun.
Edwin makes a bunny hop look good.
And like, he wearing a fitted hat and he doing a feeble and like, bro, I gotta learn feeble to Smith, bro. And like, that was like one of the hardest tricks for me to learn at first. And it'll go from feeble to Smith. But just shit like that, I felt like I was a little behind because my friend,
around what age was that?
And
like,
my friend Tyler, I was around 13 or 14.
I feel like dude,
Around
I
then.
swear, there's no
by the
way
time I
because
was
you're already
14,
on premium.
When I was on
met
14,
you.
I got on premium. That's when I got on flow through I think Matt Kolish helped me back then. But so any time before that 14, I was like,
So
getting
LaShawn
into
was
it.
your riding partner. Like when you guys
Pretty
rode.
much,
That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
That's a good riding partner.
Yeah, no, he was.
He's a
showing me
fucking
what's
nut
up.
job, but
Yeah, he
that's a
showed me
good
what's up,
one.
Like brakeless, like got onto that, like fat animal sticker on the frame, like manual 180,
Mandatory.
like, just all these things that I just got hip to through him.
Yeah,
you know that I knew was cool, but I thought it was cool. Like it was beyond just like you
that's
could tell
what
me it's
was
cool.
cool.
I was
I mean, it
like,
was
bro, this
cool.
shit is hard.
Yeah.
Like I want the purple and blue sticker, scavenger sticker. I want this. Like it was like a. And I like just staring at the DVD because it had like some dude with Jerry curls on the front.
That's
just,
literally Jerry. That's Launchpad 718.
shit like
His
that.
name is Jerry.
Okay, that's crazy. But I just love that. You know, like it's just different back in the day how that felt.
It's a
right?
culture.
But
Like
Yeah.
it's
the
very
culture of
everything's
it,
very
yeah.
like modernized right
Yeah.
now. Like the way they build houses, the way
Yeah,
content's put out for it.
everything.
Yeah, it's
Everything.
weird.
But like just to hold it and know this was the shit, put it in, and then watch it at night and get hyped and go play in the parking lot, you know, and like just like I don't know. That's like what really made me.
Well, I met you. I don't know if you remember when I met you. I met you at the Incline Club when you were with Little Sean.
I remember going
and
out
you
there.
pulled up to the netting. Remember the net,
Yeah, I
like
remember
at
that.
Lakewood Park. I don't know why. Whatever. I knew you, and I was like, "Yo, Chad" or something. And you were like, "Yo, Steve-O," blah, blah, and
shit.
you were like tripping. I was
Yeah.
like, "What the
Because I
fuck?"
probably watched all that shit. You
I
know,
was
like-
tripping that you even knew me because I was friends
Yeah.
with Lil Sean. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck you dealing with Lil Sean for?" Like, you know, he's a
Yeah.
nut job. But
Well, the
later on in life, you told me I knew you as the LRG guy.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
Well, yeah.
I was
Well,
like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay."
you were the LRG guy.
was.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and see that shit was beyond any tricks. It's like I remember clothes. I remember how you
Yeah.
was looking on that shit.
I remember, but I always tripped out because I was like, so let's get back to that. So you were on premium already, but you were
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, you're already blown up. I tried to look
weird,
for this. You were on the Fuel TV show, the Woodward Camp
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, don't get embarrassed. I didn't
figured
watch anything. I didn't watch anything of it because you can't.
Yeah.
You have to rent them
Yeah.
for fucking
Yeah, you have to-
$1.99
you
right
have to
now.
Pay for that.
Yeah, no, you should look up season 4 of this Woodward Camp TV show. I want to know a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
put me? How the fuck do you end up on TV for
How
30
did
episodes?
That even happen? Okay, so at the time, Fuel TV they had New Pollution too, and so I think
What was New Pollution? I forget.
It was
Oh,
like
it
they
was
used to-
when they introduced the new riders and stuff.
hella. That's what
Okay.
I was like. I wanted to be a part of that so bad, like, cause like Dennis might have had one, Garrett had
Oh,
one. It
there was always
like-
people
So
on
it
it,
was
yeah.
like, oh, this is like if you're gonna be something in your sport, like they probably put you on this.
Yeah.
So it's New Pollution, and I got put on that, and I think that's where my connect of like Fuel TV became. So then
How'd you get
somebody
put on
hit-
New Pollution?
they
You
asked
submitted
me.
something?
No, they didn't submit. No, like it was like a producer asked me or something, you know, like type of deal. I was like, cool, I'm down. You know, I think maybe they had a show, so I had to tap in and see what's up, but they came at me about it, and it was just like crazy. And Sean did it already, you know, he was already
Little
kinda
Sean?
popping from that
Yeah.
shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm
Well,
down,
I only
dude.
remember that show for Little Sean, so
Yeah.
I had a
I got
hunch
put
though
on it, yeah.
that you were on it. So I looked it
Yeah,
up today. I was
they
like,
put me on it.
I was like, oh my god, he's on
Yeah.
it. I was like, and I saw the photo. I was like, I showed Hannah, my girlfriend. I was like, look at Chad, and she goes, oh my god. She was like, kind of, I see it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you have to. That's
Yeah.
him.
The little dude, man, just doing that.
So
shit.
you went
that
from
was
New
a
Pollution, and then you told him, hey, I'm going to Woodward. If you want to film me, I'll be on the TV show.
Nah, they like someone at New Pollution, I think, reached out to me for that stuff. It was like someone who had been in contact with me through Fuel TV, and they just asked, and I said, "Yeah, I'm down." It was like
Were you
such a
already
big-
planning on going to Woodward, or they?
Yeah,
they
I
had
was
you
always
going?
wanted to go to Woodward. So for them to ask, I was like, I'm hella down. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've only been at that time. I probably only been to Woodward West.
which
So
compared to
there's
East is...
yeah, East is like unbelievable compared
Yeah.
to West. Yeah.
And if I did go to East, I might have went one time. I probably went that one time when I fucking, what was that called? PlayStation Am Slam or Am Jam.
I kind of remember that.
And I went and they sent me out there for the finals, and I just went out there for the day for that contest. It wasn't like I got a real...
You didn't get to enjoy Woodward.
Well, I had a few days, but it wasn't like the real couple weeks I did when I went on the show. It was like really being there, you know, and like...
So
just-
wait, so they
just
fly you out?
crazy. Yeah, they flew me out.
They fly you out to Woodward. It's a comp week, or no, a couple weeks.
Yeah, couple
Weeks, and you're gassed because
Yeah,
I remember asking my parents to go to Woodward, and they laughed at me because it's $1,200 a week.
No
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
way are you going
You
to
just
Woodward.
know
Yeah.
it's a dream place
Yeah.
to go. You
But
know?
what
And the way they
I
marketed
used to
that
do
shit,
was during the winter when they don't have summer camp, you can go to Woodward on the weekend, and it's like $120.
Oh, damn.
And then you could stay from like Friday
That's
to Sunday.
dope. Yeah.
And I did that several times. Every time I went, no one. They're just me and
Yeah,
my
but you
friends.
only get access to
no
one or
else
two
there.
parks, right?
Well, you can't use the outside parks, but you
Yeah,
can use
yeah.
the two indoor parks and stuff
so
like
you-
that.
As
But
soon
I had
as I
wild
became
times 'cause
pro
we
for-
stayed in the house that was off-site. We just partied. We ended up going to like some strip club in like the
Yeah,
basement
they
of
all
a
go to
fucking
the same-
church or some
I
weird
wish I remembered
shit.
the
Like,
name. Yeah,
we
yeah,
went to
yeah.
some like random Heartbreakers was the name of it actually.
Yeah,
we
you're
went to
right.
some random like house party. We just like walked up on house parties, just hanging out with these. Because like if you don't know what Woodward is, it's like the extreme sports camp, but it's like in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Oh yeah,
Pennsylvania.
it's
like,
Amish country.
Yeah,
Amish
for
country,
real.
and
Like,
then
State
next
College is close by, but
Penn State is
yeah.
right there. As soon as I turned pro for 2IP, that was the only thing I asked for. I said, "Can we go to Woodward?" And he was like, "You could bring 4 friends." And that's when I met. That's when I went and hung out with Brian Hunt.
Yeah.
We took our homies, and I beat the. We got into a huge fight because somebody was taunting Brian Hunt at the pizza place, and me and Brad Jameson. Me and Brad Jameson beat the shit out of like a whole bunch of college kids, and the cops were running, and we just ran the fuck away, dude. It was crazy, but. My bad. Go back.
Shout out Brian Hunt, though.
Yeah, Brian Hunt's the man. Brad Jameson's the man. Woodward's the shit. I just want to. Okay, so Woodward. They flew you out for how many weeks? 2,
Yeah,
3,
it was like 2 weeks. Yeah, for sure, 2 weeks.
and just you. You flew by. You were like, all right, I'm a
Yeah.
13-year-old, 14-year-old kid going to Woodward.
Yeah, I think I was probably 15 now.
Oh, so
It was like after I was on premium for a little
right,
bit
so then-
before that. So I was on premium when I was 14. I probably got on the show when I was like 15 or 16.
can I just ask? I know we're going back and forth.
Yeah.
How did you get on premium? Then
Through
that makes.
Matt Kolish, maybe.
Oh, you might have said that.
it was
My
either
bad,
through
my bad.
him or like I remember there was like a day that all the Haro dudes came to Claremont, and like I remember like Ryan Nyquist and Dennis and Colin McKay and all the dudes were there, and Alan Cook, and I was just having a sesh with them, and they were like, I remember I think Alan came up to me like, "Hey, would you be down to ride for premium or something like that?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" You know, I'm a little kid, like hell yeah. So I just got put on flow
premium
like that.
premium was
It
dope at the
hella
time
tight.
too.
Josh Harrington,
I mean, it's dope now,
Garrett,
too.
like everybody out. There's a lot of people on the team I was looking up to, so it was like no questions. Like I'm with it. And then yeah, Matt Kolish started filming with him. That's the first video I made when I got welcomed to the like flow team. I like spell my name out and shit.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
it was a little dude. And then yeah, so 15 or 16, I think I went to Woodward. I had already been like.
What was that like though, Phil, with a TV show? Because this is not a normal. Everybody thinks Fuel TV is just like some BS. This was on cable television,
real, yeah.
viewed by millions of people. You
It
guys,
didn't feel that way though. Like you was just at Woodward doing your thing, and they'd have you do stuff like take you away for an interview or like.
there wasn't like
today
a
we're gonna
production
do this.
crew.
Yeah,
It was
there
just
was.
oh okay.
But like, just felt like nothing was really faking it for no shows or TV.
They didn't give you no like storylines to go with.
No, it was just like.
So all the
they'd have
shit about
stuff
Sean
planned.
being an asshole.
He was for real like that. Bro. That's why that shit hit so hard, bro.
I
Like,
love it.
That shit was not fake.
When he used to throw the rappers down on the floor
shit
and then
is
say, "Watch,
real.
my dad's about to pick it
Yeah,
up,"
that
and then
shit
his dad would pick it up. I thought it was for TV.
That shit is real. He's really like that. That's what make it so like.
I love him. He's
Yeah.
the best. He's the best in the world.
I love him too.
He's the best. So the show was all right. So it was pretty
just
chill.
real,
So
yeah,
that
it was
question's
just-
out the window,
it was
kind of. It was a
cool. It was
stupid
just-
question.
No, it was
All
just
right.
nothing crazy from it. You know, it was just like a cool opportunity. Got to go to Woodward and like being there for 2 weeks. There was like a whole season made out of it. You know,
I mean, how many
was just-
episodes was it?
I don't know how many.
It's over 20, I think, bro.
Because I
Oh,
think
for real?
Season
That's
4.
a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I could look it up, but
Yeah, I
season
don't know,
4.
bro. It's crazy when you look at it because you would think like, damn, I like went to work like that. Like I did so much. But as a kid, you're not even thinking about like
No.
you're
Just
just
having
there
fun.
playing and like
You're just
I didn't
doing-
think how many episodes I made.
I mean, you're just doing what you want to do
just
with your
was
friends,
doing it,
and
yeah.
like, well, all right, describe what being a pro is like. I mean, there's obviously like am, flow, or whatever
Yeah.
riders, and then there's like pro, but like, what is like?
Wait,
a-
hold on. Were you pro already at that?
No, I don't think I was pro. I don't think I was pro yet. I think I was still am.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe
So
getting
am is
paid like
like-
a few $100 a month or something.
Oh, you got paid as an AM?
I might be fucking that up. I might have just turned pro and got paid that. I don't think I.
I think
was
you
a
guys
am.
were pro pretty young though.
But I was 16 when I think I turned pro on premium, getting paid like a few $100 a month type thing.
So yeah,
Just got
explain
on.
to him what the difference is between
So
all this shit.
I guess the am and flow thing, there wasn't much of a difference, but the flow was more of the introduction of just getting free
Just getting-
stuff.
yeah, getting
then
free stuff
am
and-
became like I'm like getting content for the brand more and like
And-
being a part of the team
and maybe
getting
going on
introduced,
more
getting
trips,
stuff.
maybe getting
and
maybe
then
getting paid or something,
yeah,
or
and then
royalties
pro.
or something, and then pro is
when they just start paying me and really going on trips now.
Yeah.
Which is so sick. And I was so young, so it didn't matter. You could have gave me any type of money. It wasn't like that. I was just like, what? Like,
And
And
what-
that wasn't one of those people that was like negotiating. Your
no, I
deals.
wasn't negotiating no deals. Not in the beginning. I was just so young. But when I turned 17 is when I turned pro for Nike. So that's like when my life changed in a different way.
because they
So,
were
like,
they were actually giving you bread for real.
that was like a whole different.
Yeah.
Like that's like when you say pro and pro. I felt pro.
Yeah,
Like
like what are the
I
obligations?
mean, there's only 4 of you that ever
So it
felt
was
that
just,
way.
like, crazy. Yeah. So I don't know. Like that was like a whole fucking crazy like.
Well, 5, I guess, including Spinner.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spinner.
And they told me I would never be
Nigel,
on it.
Dennis,
So,
Garrett, you.
Yeah,
Only people ever to get touch some Nike money.
it's crazy. They told me.
Yeah,
they
that's
told me
fire.
I would
That's
never
fire.
be on
And you didn't
pro.
have to film a fucking part. Good for you for getting out of writing on the wall.
Hey, and that was my
That
favorite
video's
video.
cool.
That
Yeah,
was my favorite
that
video
video's
growing
cool.
up. But
Spinner's got my favorite part.
that was my favorite video. Hey, I know every song. I know his whole part. Too.
So that's what I was gonna say. So you're saying, so to go with his question, you're
Yeah.
saying you really felt like you turned pro from Nike, but also, did you feel any type of way because you were a part of the original 4, or you were just like, nah, this is amazing that I'm the only person that got added to this shit?
That
Because it was
was
like you and then some Europe dudes, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like they started expanding, but you were really the only new pro.
Because that was since Spinner, because he got off though. So that
Which
was
is
my
crazy.
opportunity to like. I was on Flow and they told me, Losi, you know, I probably have
Hey,
the
guys.
email,
Hey, guys,
probably
let's go.
say it on there like, we gonna flow you some stuff, but like, there's gonna be no chance you're ever gonna.
Don't make
be
him
pro.
sound that cool. Give me a Losi impression.
No,
I'm just kidding. I love Losi. I love Losi.
I love Losi, man. So
He made shit happen for everyone.
and
You know,
that's when
like
it
I said, you
happened
weren't
for
around.
me. Like it just.
So hold on. So you're on. So you got paid. You got started getting paid from Nike, but what the fuck was I gonna say? Before that
It was just premium.
was just premium. That's
Yeah.
it.
So it was just like, just rocking premium, and then there was this little clothing company I was just playing around with. It wasn't paying me, but it was just that was it. And then and then Nike came along, and then I think either later that year or the next year, that's when I got put on vitamin water, and then that's when shit got even more crazy.
Do you
at that
know?
time.
I was gonna say this. I don't know if you probably do because you're friends with Garrett. But Garrett, for a stint, a lot of people don't know this. He was getting hooked up by vitamin
Oh,
water.
I think I knew that.
Dude,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
getting cases like when
Yeah,
50
yeah.
Cent bought in. We were
Yeah.
getting the 50 Cent
Yeah.
ones
The
by
pink
the
ones?
the little like purple lavenders, bro.
yeah.
They were amazing,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe it because when you found, I was like, I mean, obviously he got a Red Bull, and that's way better, not way better, but you know, long term, whatever. But I was so mad, not mad, but I was like, you see, Garrett, he did it right.
That's
like he made his
crazy.
own contest, like you know, like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, okay, you got into vitamin water.
Yeah, and that was another step of like feeling like that was like a
pro.
Dude, I'm really
Did
doing
you
this.
did
for
you already
everything.
have? So a lot of people don't know. Some bike riders have agents. Did you already have an agent once you got, or did when you got to Nike, you got an agent?
I didn't have an agent when I got on Nike. I got an agent after that though. So
So-
he did my vitamin water one.
Okay.
So that's when that came in like that. So everything.
Is it still the same
previous
guy?
is all me. Yeah.
Shout out Matt.
Matt, yeah.
You got him the vitamin.
Yeah.
All right, you're good in my
Yeah.
book. All right, all right, all right.
And then we
all
did
right.
that invitational, so that was super cool to do that contest they let me do at the bakery, which was fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
And like Garrett, everybody came out. Will
No, everyone.
Strong,
I was-
it was so cool, bro. It was like
It was
I
one of
couldn't
the coolest-
believe Vitamin Water let me just throw some. I was like such a new pro on the scene.
But as a creative director for that, honestly, you
cool.
made a really fucking cool thing. No, really, at
looking.
17 years
Thank
old and like not even being into what you're into
Hell
now,
yeah.
you were like, no, I love bike riding, and this is what I see for it. It was very barracksy style,
Yeah.
but also the bakery was very barracksy style, but like. You made it really cool because, like I said, I felt left out. You know, like, like it was really cool. But I saw it on another interview you did. You were talking about how there's no contests anymore and shit like that. And I would love.
Yeah.
We need a CK Invitational.
I know. I want to do another one so bad. I've been trying.
I bet you if you presented something to Rockstar.
Yeah, I have been. I've been trying to get something going for that, and I think they're down. But I think we just gotta. It sounds like if we probably could pick a park and like do away, but like I have something so much more detailed.
No, it has to be pro.
That's why I'm like,
I'm gonna give you the guideline right now. First one you do is pro only invite in your backyard.
Ooh,
like 40.
Fire.
40. Fuck it. Give me 40. Then you do the 40, and then you see how the content goes, how people react to it, who comes up to it, and then you let those people, the top 20. Then we go do the one where the people come out and watch that shit.
No, there's a way. And I want to do it. Like
you know me. I'll jot it all down.
I know. I just got to figure out who's going to back,
I don't take the percentage. I don't get nothing.
who's going to back that
Just give me the VIP pass. That's all I need.
But do you think that's like relevant to have people come out and watch the contest, really, or just do a contest?
I think that's a huge thing right now.
Did anyone go watch this contest at the bakery, or they just had everything?
No, but that's when bike riding was a little core and we had a little bit more money. Right now, we got to get a couple of people to see his fit. You know what I'm saying? Like we need some people on the outside be like, wait, hold up, that dude's fits fly. How's he? I thought he's doing that corny fucking skateboard shit. Nah, he's not. Nah, you know what I mean. But either way, so okay, vitamin water. My bad. I keep going on tangents.
No,
vitamin
good,
water,
bro. We rocking with you.
I'm crazy, but vitamin water. So you got to do that, and you're feeling pro, and all that shit, which is dope.
Yeah. So that was like that all happened. I think during the time of like me first dipping into X Games too, and getting into like X Games when I was like. So I probably got my first invite as an alternate and didn't ride it. And then the next year I came in as an alternate.
What X Games? Where was that X Games? Was it the LA one?
LA, yeah.
Staples Center?
Yeah, that was probably 2012, right? 13?
2012, yeah. And then 2013 was the year I won, and I was on vitamin water that year. So I know the year before I wasn't on nothing. I was just...
Oh, yeah, I was there the year you won.
Yeah.
The crowd was going crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts. I was there that year too.
Oh yeah, Stevie was riding that year.
Stevie was smoking a cigarette on the course.
That fool was crazy.
Yeah,
he was fucking going for that shit though. I remember like those times. It's crazy because I was thinking about it this year. Like nobody from that era of like X Games was riding the X Games with me this year. It's like a whole new circuit of people.
Yeah,
besides me and Garrett. And I was like, this is crazy, bro. Like
Colin was in the stands with us.
For real.
He's been manifesting that for fucking 20 years.
For real.
And it looks good out there.
Yeah, he do. Yeah, he do. And that's kind of how it happened with me. Like, I feel like manifestation is a huge thing. But, like, bro, I was in the crowd of X Games. I was the biggest fan of X Games for so long. And I felt like I just wanted to be a part of it so bad. And, like, it just, like, you know, how life just goes. But I was just following this vision of just, like, dude, like, this is all I want to do, and this is like the coolest thing to me in my life ever, you know.
Honestly, same. And like I remember when I was super young going to X Games when I was in like Rhode Island, like the first.
Damn, you got to go to the sick ones.
Like,
damn.
the super early on ones, and I was just a kid. I was super young, but I was like, I want to do this, and I was like, you know, I mean, I obviously was never good enough to be a rider to do that, but I figured out a way to like be involved. You know what I mean? Like I tell people that all the time. Like, you know, I was never good enough to be a pro rider like that, but there's other ways you can get involved, and
especially
still,
if you love something and you're having fun with something,
you'll find a way for real.
It just goes. The energy just goes.
I don't know if you want to spill the tea or nothing, but a lot of kids out there don't know how much does fucking winning the X Games mean to you? Like, does that change your life? Like, you don't have to give the exact amount.
No, I mean, it could. I mean, at the age you're at, too, at the age I was at the time, it felt like, you know, it could change your freaking life. And at the time today, I feel like if you were to do really well, it could help your year out that much better. You know?
Yeah.
Just as far
could you buy a car if you won X Games?
Yeah, you for sure could buy a car.
That's what I think a lot of people don't. So, and then when you won X Games, you were on Nike still?
Yeah.
So did you get bonuses?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. And you were on vitamin water? Did you get a bonus?
Yeah.
Shit.
Sure.
Life changing.
So yeah,
I think
that's
so.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
Not at that age. I think if you got that today, it'd be nice too.
Even, yeah. So
well, a lot of people don't get. I think is like there's different like what you said, pro and pro, and like there's not a lot of pro
it's
guys
tough.
that are winning content, because there are pro riders that get sponsorships, right? You got a couple sponsorships, you get a frame, you get a parts, you might get a clothes or shoes, and they all give you a little bit of money and shit like that, enough to like get by or do okay. Then you get pro where you like get some maybe higher end sponsors like that pay big money, like Red Bull or Nike and shit like that.
No, we don't. Not Red Bull.
Oh, not Red Bull. No,
Rockstar.
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 We got Rockstar. Like you good money and shit like
we
that.
fucked up. We should have had the case on
Should
the
have
table.
brought one here. Yeah, for
That
real.
was good. I probably got one in the truck.
Jose, go grab. And then if if you're winning contests like in X Games, you win. They have money to win, but then those
On top
big
of it,
sponsors will.
Only
do
if
they-
you get that.
Do they match it though? Do they match what you
Usually,
won?
I mean,
Or
depends on everyone's deals are different.
Yeah.
It just depends on how your deals are made. But
He's
I
asking
remember
you.
My shit.
Did they match?
Was matched.
it was
yeah.
matched?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why we saw the chains. That's why we saw the chains. Was that around the time we made Rambo? Were you feeling like Rambo?
Probably.
Around that time? That's what's
Yeah.
up. So I was also
So I
going to
had-
ask,
yeah.
we skip. I think we skipped because were you doing Do Tour?
Yeah, I was.
And Do Tours before X Games, right?
I was.
So remember how crazy Do Tour was? Like
Do
I
Tour
wasn't
was
really part of
insane.
that, but I remember missing my missing my homie Garrett all the time
Yeah.
because he was like my, we
was
we
really-
rode, but he was gone like how many, like 20 times out of the year you
But
guys
I
had
was never
contests.
on it like them. So when they were on it on that type of deal with Do Tour, I was watching.
Was
it on
Do
TV.
Tour the same as X Games money or a fraction?
It was probably the same, if not more. If not more, I feel like Do Tour was crazy. Like Do Tour was nuts.
Now we know why Garrett was going in.
Yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. And like that was the time where like I was doing free flow as an amateur, trying to get into the Do Tour. So there was a free flow tour.
Oh, yeah, 'cause we're
where it was
jumping
like
back.
Gatorade free flow tour, where it was like,
Oh my
get into
God, I
this.
forgot
So
about that.
I was like competing in those, and I won, and I got into the finals in Salt Lake City, and I rode against like Michael Laren, like
Who?
Kevin Peraza, like all these people that are names today. Daniel Sandoval. Like everyone was trying to do free flow to get in the real thing. And like Pat Casey was already in the real thing. No, he took his steps early, but
Yeah, Pat Casey.
He was already on it.
I remember it was probably 2012 X
Yeah.
Games. I was his team manager then. Like I remember like having to be like, like tacoed his rim at fucking during the contest. I'm like trying to fucking fix his wheel in the middle. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing this for? Like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is actually my job for real. Like, I'm really just supposed to be filming shit. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? That's when I was like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fucking trying to fix his wheel in the middle of a contest. I'm like,
we
oh.
needed that.
Hey,
especially
at
that
least you
time.
weren't out there with the GoPro on a stick like Escamilla. Because that was the year you won. Was he was out there? Remember, he was with the GoPro.
Hey,
no
I was
offense,
on
that's
GoPro
cool.
too. Shit, I had to
I
do
fuck
a lot
with
of-
it, but it was just so funny. Remember watching him running around with the GoPro selfie
yeah.
stick?
Oh, yeah,
Yo,
I
it
remember
was
those
so
days.
funny,
No, he's
bro.
probably trying
That
to
was
get
the
a-
year
he-
you won.
He was probably trying to get a bag from GoPro. That's why.
No, he did
He
get a
was.
bag. I'm not hating on him getting a
was.
bag. It was just at the time being a spliff smoker in the X Games stands.
just like-
I'm laughing at Mike Escamilla running around on foot. He should have just put on the blades,
Yeah.
but it was just so funny.
man, the
Yo, he was
blades.
cooking. He was out there. He was
Don't
putting
do
in
the
work.
blades.
He was putting in work.
Can't
I'm not
do
gonna
the
lie.
blades.
But the Do Tour thing. So you did free flow tour, and then you got into.
and then that was it.
Now
So
you're
when
in
I
the
was
circuit. Now you're in the Do Tour
It wasn't
circuit.
as big though. It was like now they like down. It wasn't downsized, but they used to do so many so many contests where you wouldn't see Garrett type shit. But it was like when I got into it, now there was only like 3 big ones they did, which was still big, but they did like 3 big ones, and it'd be like Portland, Maryland, and like I don't know, something else. So it was like only
I
a
remember
few.
Portland was one of the bigger ones because they did
Yeah.
a street one where they made a roller coaster rail and all that shit. Okay.
So it was only a few that like. So I was like on the like last ends of like that Do Tour days. but
okay.
It was still like I still got to do a fair.
Oh yeah,
amount
because
of them.
Spinner's not in the picture, right?
Yeah, nah.
Spinner
not
was
like
Do
that.
Tour king.
Yeah.
But he
So-
came and went though. He like came and
was
went
the one that
fast.
won
I
that
feel
shit all
like
the
he
time.
wasn't.
That was when, but that the only reason I'm saying is because that's when like the Do Tour was the Do Tour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? When
what you
Spinner was
remember that. You
competing,
remember that.
him crying and not winning is because obviously the bag. You know,
was
but
real,
it was real,
you
you
know?
know, and they got to do hella shit, which we're
was
finding
dope.
out about.
Not through me, cuz. Yeah.
I mean, I get it too, but I feel
It was
like if
crazy.
that's the reason you're doing this is for the bag, then it's like
Well, I think different.
Oh,
intentions,
dude,
like
he-
different. There's different people for like.
Yeah.
At the time, you could tell the people that were there for that competitive park side. You know, like for me, that was something I wanted to do. It was so cool, but it was like, an extra thing.
You just wanted to be a part of it.
To be a part of it. It
Yeah,
wasn't like,
doing
bro,
it and
I'm not trying to
competing
be.
and being competitive is cool, but
Yeah,
like being upset that you didn't win.
Yeah,
is
it
like,
wasn't
all
like
right,
And at
that.
that
we're
time,
riding
you're
BMX
looking up.
bikes, bro. Like,
Dude,
Yeah.
I wasn't never mad too at the time because like my style was so different that I would never expect to win. It was like my.
But that's because you're
translating
already
that
looking up
riding
to
was-
Garrett and Dennis now,
Yeah.
and they're so cool guy and like, oh, I don't care,
It was
but they're
like, my
just shutting
tricks-
shit down.
Like my tricks were just like hang fives and like manuals and like my tricks were so different
I
that
do
I
remember
knew that
that.
it wasn't gonna do that much. Like it wasn't gonna beat, Scotty Kramer's flip double whips. It was just like I'm put in the mix with these dudes, so I'm gonna just do what I do. And like I said, I don't like being that high in the air. I like being close to the ground, so I
Yeah.
would just do shit
I
like
forgot you
that.
were a hang five guy.
But I would get like 6th place or something, it'd be straight for me. You still get hella money for 6th place. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is straight. So I don't know why nobody was mad really like at what place you would get. Like, so I remember shit like that. I'd be like, I get home and look at like how much money I got. I'd be like, bro, for 6th place, this is bracket. Like, I was just like, this is the coolest shit I ever. So it was just like that was extra though. This wasn't even for the reason of why I was even doing it. I didn't even know you could make that type of money. I knew you could do something well with shit because I was watching Dennis from racing and like clearly there's a path with freestyle, but it
Well,
was
they were
never
making-
like numbers or
They were
proof
making
of,
money,
like-
but they're good at not showing
I
the shit
know.
up. We were
They
just
was good
talking
at
about
it,
this.
you know?
We're our own worst enemies because we don't want to show anything off. But
Yeah.
we have to engage these kids to
Right.
show that there's
Yeah, you could do it.
possibility. Yeah,
You could do
there's
it.
ways to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like not everybody. Not everybody's privy to it. I always
sure.
say you're part of the 1%. You are part of the 1%,
Yeah,
where
it's a
it's like
small,
like a few people get to pay their house off from bike riding and all that, and it's a blessing. But you put in a lot of work, and it's crazy. I didn't know you rode since you were 4.
I, know,
I knew
that's
that.
all
Though. I knew you
know,
rode
yeah.
since you were super young. I knew you were racing since you were
That's
super
all
young.
I know,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I just remember meeting him at the Lakewood Park and be like, oh, it's like, obviously you're like the West Coast version, Los Show was the
Yeah,
East
it
Coast
was-
version.
it
That's
was
how
like
they played.
that.
That's how they
it
played the
was.
marketing, right? And it was good because you guys were like,
Little dudes
low
together,
Garrett,
yeah.
and it was
For real.
it
Looked up,
worked.
you could tell who we looked up to.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
clear as day, but I feel like it's crazy.
Was
how
Sean
far
in
it's
Due
taken
Tour
us.
too? Yeah, right. A little bit
I feel like
at
Sean
the
was
same
in
time
those,
as
yeah.
you.
Sean
Well,
did really well at the ones towards the end too, because they were more street contests. Like there was one in Brooklyn they did that was like just so many 3 setups, and
Oh,
he
I
was
remember
like
that.
killing that. Like,
Yeah, I remember
he
that.
did really good
Yeah.
at Due Tours too.
I mean, he's one of the-
Lacey, like there was dudes that did really good at Due Tours. Like it had a cool format. It was a little different.
Yeah,
than
that was
X Games.
right at
X
the
Games
end.
is a lot more like nerve wracking of a contest. It's like it's the one your grandparents might watch, your cousins.
It
and
feels more like
it's
corporate or
TV,
something,
you
right?
know?
Like,
Yeah,
and then
like,
Due Tour felt a little more loose. I felt
it was
like
a little more loose and like
It's like a
you could
minor
get
league game
down.
as
Yeah.
opposed to a big league game, right? That's how I
For
always
sure.
thought of it.
For sure.
Like, because the people who are buying the tickets to Due Tour, they're spending $15 as opposed to the people at X Games, they're spending $100 per ticket. Like, dude, we had passes. Garrett got his passes this year. We tried to go up in the stands and we couldn't. They were like, no, super fans only.
Yeah.
In the stands. I was like, what does that
What's a
mean?
super fan?
You got to add that to your package, another $30. And I didn't pay any. I was like, whatever. I'll go stand I'll go stand in the athlete lounge. Sure, like where everybody else wants it to be.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit in the stands and like view it as like a
just
normal
watch it.
person.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're like, all right, you're not gonna let us just watch it. All right, I'll just go.
Because there's like
hang
a
out back
package
then,
you
like-
could
Yeah.
get. Like I had to do a signing, and it was like I just went
This
into
year?
this area, where it was like
I was
people
telling him-
paid to get it. It was like there was people that were in the room
A signing
getting
for
food
what?
and drinks.
X
for
Games
X-
or
at X Games.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like the people that paid for that package to be in that exclusive room I was in got to get stuff signed by me, and like athletes would come through to it. It was like a cool experience.
That
if
was
you're
on
gonna pay for
Sunday,
that
right?
package.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like I think they just offer like more. X Games just has a bigger.
I mean, this
like,
is the one sport that like Garrett was walking around. Like after his run,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? You don't
yeah.
get that
You
with
don't get
the
that,
baseball
yeah.
players. Don't. Once they get kicked out of the game, they go
ain't
home.
gonna
Whatever.
see 'em.
Yeah. I was
ain't gonna
telling
see
him
'em.
though because he said he wanted to go this year, and I didn't know he wanted to go. I would have took him, but I was telling him the coolest X Games I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was
honestly,
dope.
right?
It was super dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're skipping. Let's just talk about X Games for a minute, I guess. No hate to anyone, but I saw that you said to the no hate to anyone. You know who I'm talking about? But I saw you went to the camera, and when you saw your score, you're like, I literally don't know what else to do. That is, like you were like, yo,
It was hard for me.
No, it
just
wasn't
felt
just hard for you. Everyone
Yeah, it
got
felt-
scored.
in the
Garrett got an
moment-
86.
yeah, in the moment, it felt hard for me. You're not looking at the whole thing, and then at the end, I'm just like, wow, this was just.
You got played. I mean,
It was
everyone got
hard,
played.
like-
But
Well, is it still the same fucking people judging it as it was
No.
fucking 10 years ago, or is it fucking?
No, they're your homies. You know these people.
Well, I mean, of course.
That shit's crazy. But
No, I thought that because
it's just I've never felt that way in a contest. Like I've
No, you
never
look
had to,
defeated.
like feel like you have a chance, because like in the moment it just felt like no matter what I give, it ain't gonna get rewarded.
Well,
to
was it
what-
because
what
when
is-
you saw like other people killing it too, and then they got 83,
so it just
that's
hurt.
what
It
fucked
just-
you
I
up
just
too?
don't know what to do, you know? Like, I'm not gonna, I don't know, just like, it's just hard when they put you in that kind of situation, because you want to play. You're there to play the game.
Yeah.
But it was hard to even play the game for the fact of like, you're not even in it, because you're like so far out that if I do what I think is better, I don't even think it's going to get rewarded to that extent, really.
Yeah.
It was kind of like confusing to be in it.
It's kind of like an issue I always had. It's like they have the same kind of people around that like over, and it's like you gotta get fresh people, fresh.
Kind of, but you know,
minds in
no
there
offense to
and shit.
anyone that's judging right now. I think it's finally like I even feel like I'd be expecting too much when I watch Garrett and shit, because I'm like, oh, dude, come
Yeah.
on, you know. But whatever. I think it's finally time where you might have to add someone new to the panel, like a younger guy. Just
a younger-
no offense to anyone. It's
No,
just
I thought that. 10
No, I
years
know,
ago
but the
looked
people,
like, you know what I mean?
but there's
Like,
reputable people in that judge panel where you're like,
no, they are
what do you-
reputable people, but
I just
people
don't
get old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I think
you
they're a
ain't
little
lying.
too far removed,
They-
and,
they-
and there's people who
it's
still
like-
ride.
Yeah.
But I still think that they do their own thing, and they know like Chad's so good that I think they're like, all right, where was the fucking this? Like, why didn't you?
Well, yeah, it
you know what I'm
sucks, yeah,
saying?
when they
and
score
maybe
you
it's
against
Instagram
that.
too. Maybe it's
Yeah.
the fact that everybody puts out too much shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
Where maybe sometimes you should just post a fucking fit pic and your homies as a slideshow instead of putting out your best shit. Because I think maybe the people who are in the judging panel follow you guys and they're fucking used to your riding.
And they
So when
see all
Johnny
your shit all the
Rakes
time.
is
Exactly.
doing bar to hanger on a fucking rail that's never been done
Mm.
in the middle of his run, it looks normal. Because I was sitting in the stands, it looked normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked fucking normal. And like I said, maybe I'm a little too far removed from the shit, but it was gnarly. Because like I said, I watched it afterwards because I felt so crazy after like being there. I was like, wait, did
It's
he?
just different. Like if you're gonna be a judge, you have to take into account that the tricks you see on Instagram, obviously you get tries, but this is stuff we're pulling in the moment in front of people, in front of like when it's time. Like even if you didn't throw
It's
the
like you
bar,
have
you
to
still
lick
did the nose
first.
across whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you have to take into account what you might have done under these circumstances.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
like you film
regardless.
something, put on Instagram or
Yeah.
video part, you can try as many times as you want to land
and you
it.
just gonna show you. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
show you the banger I got out of it because I put so much time.
Yeah, you're
you
not
know?
gonna
So
see
it's
like people don't understand that. Like
But you don't want to dumb it down to be like, oh no, so then I can get scored when I do ride X game. Like fuck that, you know. You just be
Yeah.
doing your thing and like.
Well, how do you
just
feel
can't
about
judge it
that with the
against
whole
it.
fucking? Because I'm like Instagram. I started kind of getting out of BMX when the
Yeah.
Instagram started getting big. So like, you know, what is that now? Like Instagram being such a big part of everything, like having to ride and put content out yourself on Instagram and shit like that.
I mean,
And
it's a
does
ba-
it take
it's a good
away
and
from?
bad thing, but it also helps things too. Because in that case, it's like you can get all these cool opportunities through doing social media.
Yeah.
Now, but as far as like clips
Not
and-
everyone though.
Not
I think you're
everyone.
probably one of the
You know, but-
two people that.
Well, it
do
seems
that.
like Sims went really up on social media, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't get deals for a social media post.
But-
That's what he's talking about,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
you're talking about
From
getting
the
like
sponsors and
yeah,
stuff?
No,
Media
from
changed
like
so
random,
much.
like he got a deal with like Heineken or something,
shit
right?
like
For an
that.
Instagram
like,
thing.
cool.
So he gets
Yeah.
to get deals like that, but that's because he's smart. He's had a manager for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and he's one of the few people that's marketable. You know what I mean? Like Brad utilized Instagram in a sense where he was like, "Oh, y'all forgot about me?
Yeah, I'ma give
look,
y'all
I'm gonna
this."
show y'all what
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
forgot about." And like people forget that he used to ice pick up 21 stair rails. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
before anyone was ice picking up a rail.
But I feel like
You know?
there was something like that where he just got so popular on Instagram with just people.
He fed the algorithm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He
And he
fed
started
the
popping up
algorithm.
everywhere, and I would see him on random people would be
He fed the
reposting and shit.
algorithm.
But then that gives you the opportunity, to like, okay, well, you know, I can just do my own. I can start my own YouTube shit or something, and kind of like
this day and
instead of
age.
relying on sponsors, I kind of like do shit. I mean, not even like the shit I do. It's like I work with artists, and I can have an artist hire me and stuff like that. But then like I can do my own shit and just be around and put my own shit on YouTube or stuff like that. I'm really just doing my own shit. I don't have to rely on getting hired by an artist or getting a sponsor or something like that. Like you can really just like be on your own shit. You know what I mean? So
Well, he's got a YouTube now, and we'll skip forward to that because we're I mean, we'll get back to him doing YouTube because
it's
where do we? I keep forgetting. I want to go through the timeline because you have a crazy
have a
history.
timeline?
You have like a timeline.
timeline,
pretty
bro,
much, right?
damn.
Like you started at 4,
It is crazy.
and now how old are you?
I am
No, we're
29.
16.
I'm about to
29,
turn 30.
dude. That's a long time to be
Yeah.
riding this damn bike and like do. So where do we go? Do tour? You're still on Nike.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah. And
But what are
then,
you doing? Really, like how you? Is it just contests or is it like?
No,
or
I
is
was
now you
traveling
starting
a
to film
lot.
for market?
Yeah, I was filming a lot at that
For
time.
market or just random stuff?
I feel like I was always filming for market in the earlier days of like.
You and Christian just were. Or you and the crew would always go
earlier.
out
Yeah, and like
around do tour time.
Yeah,
Because that's when I think that's
was
when we were
filming,
doing the
yeah.
deadline thing.
Because there was times like we would piggyback off trips and stuff. Too,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure you guys did too.
I think Garrett did it more with like Corrali. Like if they went to like Utah or something, they would film their stuff there and stuff. You know, because we had a big crew and like we were all fucking derelicts. Nobody had the money to go. You know, like
Right.
But
No,
so you were
I
just
was
filming
around there,
for market shit
doing that, yeah, and
doing
shit, I
like
was
what,
going
like
to
little
school.
vital
I was
edits and
still
stuff
probably
too.
Going to school too, so that
Oh,
shit was
yeah.
crazy. Like I was
You're
like,
still in school.
yeah, like just balancing school and that, and then yeah, I don't know, it was crazy during that time. Just to even think about that, I was trying to balance being like a real, professional BMX rider and going to school and traveling that way was crazy. But I was going to a good school. It wasn't like a normal public school. It was like a charter school that kind of like allowed me to do things like that.
Charter school. What does that even mean? I'm
It
dumb.
was like you had to get picked in out of a hat, like a lottery to go to it. It was like
Yeah.
300, probably 300 or 400 kids only went to it type thing. But I went into a school like that in like middle school because I had been racing and doing stuff with traveling. So like my parents thought it'd be better for me to go to a school like that than to go to a public school and get like have teachers that wouldn't understand and just like throw stuff onto you and like not care.
Yeah.
Like these
Like, yeah,
teachers
sure,
were
you're
more
going-
in depth and kind of like
So what were they like? Your teachers were cool. Like, hey, I have
Super
to go
cool.
leave for 2 weeks and go on this trip to go ride my bike and
they
film.
give you a packet and
Yeah.
understand,
and like they were cool with it. And
they'd
then
understand
made it work.
you were doing
Yeah.
packets on trips.
on trips, like give me a little packet,
Really?
do that shit.
You
yeah.
would finish the packets on the trip.
I don't think I'd finish it. I'd do as much as I could and probably finish that shit like before I came to school or like late at night.
If someone gave me a packet before I went on a riding trip, I'd be like, "Yo, guys, look
I
at
know.
this! Film this shit out the window."
Same, but I feel like we're
I
fucking
know.
scumbags
I cared,
and
though. It was
fucking.
weird,
No, that's
bro.
dope.
I don't know. I just cared.
That's from the race culture.
Yeah, like just maybe that or like my parents, just like school always kind of meant something to them too, or me. Just like I wasn't trying to be dumb or nothing. Like try to do
How did you do in school?
like
Like okay, or did you like do
I mean-
good, or like? Because it's hard to balance, because now you're in school and you're an actual pro, like you have a real job. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like you're a pro rider.
No, I
and-
never slacked.
Like, I had my
only
own invitational.
I probably had all A's. Honestly, I didn't
Oh, yeah.
have no
Cap. We
I
need
never, like-
send us photos.
Yeah,
so
we
we
wanna
can
see your
insert.
report card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
send the
I
fucking
do.
photos of the report card. So we
I
can
do. My shit was. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't.
Nah, I
gonna
always
say
heard
it,
you. I
but
mean, you
I
looked
just
like a
tried
really
not to,
nice
like-
kid too. When
Like I just wasn't trying to like. To me, that was like being competitive or whatever. Like I just couldn't get a C or a B or a. Even if I had to, it wasn't mean I was that smart. I just did what I had to do to get those. Like
Yeah.
whether it be ask whoever homegirl is like how you do this or what you got to do for it. Like I just made sure to do it. Like I'm just kind of like OCD or whatever it could be about it. But like if someone's giving me a task, I gotta try like do it. And like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I'd fail if I didn't try, and if I tried, then I'd usually get a good
I
result.
told you,
so.
Garrett called you very professional.
See, so I don't
Somebody
know.
else
I
was
don't-
supposed to be on the podcast. They
Yeah.
avoided me for a couple of days, and I was like, "Curly, you were the first one I called
Hey,
anyway."
man,
But you were.
I'm
gonna-
around. I'll get back to you. You know
Either
what I mean?
way, in 10 minutes, he was like, "I'll be there."
Oh, you
This
you
is-
were the first one he mentioned.
Yeah, yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
love.
But then you were like up at your
Yeah, I
parent,
wasn't-
your mother.
yeah, I was
or
up in the
whatever.
Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking, we were like, all right, we'll just do this. But then it worked out. Where I
worked
was
out
like, yo,
good,
fuck
yeah.
it, you know. But
So-
no, you're very
No, I
professional.
don't know. Yeah. School
Did you
just-
did you do college too at all?
No,
or?
but that was prepping to go. Like,
okay.
like the whole time I was going to school, I don't think we
What
ever
was the deciding
believed
factor?
To not go
Yeah.
was like the sponsors and the way it was going. It was like
You were
it was
already
just going
making
well.
Vitamin water.
But
adult
there was
money
no telling,
at that time.
like,
yeah,
there was no telling.
But what
like,
was it? Nike, vitamin water at this time, premium.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you
Who the
needed.
fuck else? Maybe GoPro. But I don't know
GoPro?
if that was at that time, but it was around that time for sure. But yeah, in between
Did
contests,
GoPro give you a good bag?
Yeah, that was cool too.
Look at the way
That was cool too. But yeah, like shit, that's
Yeah,
like I guess
remember
the deciding
GoPro in the
factor.
early days. We all got free GoPros
Yeah.
too.
I don't know if you
yeah.
remember, I used to do the GoPro
Yeah,
videos.
yeah,
So
yeah.
after getting one that like got a good amount of views, me and Augie pulled up to their little office. Was it the one in San Diego? The little one, right?
Yeah.
So you were around that time, dude. I tell people that was like a startup then, and it's crazy to see what they turned it into.
I remember that too. Like we all just had GoPros.
know.
Oh, they got the GoPro.
Charlie
2
got
coming.
you guys hooked
Charlie
up.
got us hooked
Yeah.
up by GoPro. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Charlie got
we got a
us
bunch
hooked
of. We had a bunch of random ones. We were just making videos.
He
with
was
and
like
shit.
the first one on it, honestly. Charlie,
yeah.
Charlie Crumlish.
Crumlish.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out Charlie.
Shout out Charlie.
And I didn't know what GoPro meant. I used to think that was like a weird name. He was just titling these videos, and I was like,
Yeah.
GoPro, are they turning so and so pro? Like what? I don't understand. Does this curved wall ride really mean that he's turning pro? Like this is crazy.
So, but it was one of those things. I didn't go to college because it just.
I mean, you had four.
But at the time, like I was prepping, so like the school I was at, it was like the percentage of everyone that went to college was damn near everyone, and they like announced it the day like we were graduating. Like maybe it was like a speech someone said, but it was like a teacher, but they're like everyone's going to a college besides one person, and, and they were like, we all know who he is, you know, like he ride bikes, like clearly he's, you know, and that was like my pass on that. But like I was prepped to like show my grades to a college and try to get in. Like I had good enough grades.
What would
to
you
get in
have
that
wanted
shit.
to
Like,
go for?
I don't know, but like
engineering.
I don't know. I honestly don't fucking know.
I know,
Because at the
that's a-
time I didn't, so that's what it was. I just didn't know.
I mean, honestly, I didn't go to college.
So I just-
and I was like 4 or 5 years after I graduated high school. So I didn't.
so you don't-
I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to
Yeah,
do when I was
so
like when I was
see.
high school. After high school, I went right to just working.
Yeah.
Just
so that's
regular
like what
jobs,
it did for
you
me.
know?
Like
yeah.
I was making money, so it was that. And then my mom just put me on to saving. So I had been saving since I was making $300 a month.
Yeah.
You know, like making nothing, just saving. And then I was able to get
Yeah, you
an
were
apartment.
different, bro.
Like I was able to get my first crib at 18. So right when I moved out, pretty much I got an apartment. And
think I
then my
went to that
parents
apartment.
like, yeah, you probably did. That was
Yeah.
in like 2014, 13, 14. And then
That was
My
around the
mom,
time I
like,
started Peep Games.
still helped me with, you know, money and told me to like invest into a condo that was pretty affordable at the time. And then I got into that and stayed in that. And it was just like, just moves from that.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even say today, like a lot of it is from what I've done, but it also is like my mom teaching me to like put money away and like the way
Yeah.
I've put it away and like investing into real estate or the crib. At the time, I didn't know what I
that's-
was even doing. I just wanted somewhere to live.
That's
I
but
mean,
super
it
important.
just
yeah.
helped me,
Wha-
you know.
When I
later.
remember when we did the day in the life.
Yeah.
You had a nice car then. and
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about cars,
Yeah.
but I remember when we put out that day in life, it did numbies. It did
It
numbies.
did, huh?
It did numbies. And we did it.
A
We
little
made,
Beamer, my little white Beamer.
but you
at
always
the
had
time.
nice shit. You always were into nice shit, but you
Yeah.
never were like flashy. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like you had to change.
It's because it was just the stuff I liked, like genuinely liked. It wasn't like I was like overstepping anything to be like,
you're
this
humble
is because.
and you're
It was
not
just
douchey like
and
a lot of
honestly, I
people
went to
are
go
when
get
they
a
get money.
car.
Yeah.
I didn't go to get that Beamer. It was like I was looking at other cars and my mom. I like saw the Beamer and I was like, that's hard. Like I like a car like that. And I was just talking shit. My mom like looked at it and she was like, you could get that. And when you get a pass from your mom, like no one, like I know how much money I have, but like I still needed like a good permission to like spend it. It was
Yeah,
like, for
yeah.
what though? Are you gonna spend anything at that age?
what was it,
it's like-
copper or something like that? What color?
oh,
was
no,
it?
that wasn't the same car, but the first one I got was that white Beamer,
What
Yeah.
Beamer was it?
5 Series.
Nice.
And then that's when she was like, you could get
Brand
that.
new?
And that's no, it was used.
Used.
Yeah, so that's when I was like, oh, okay, I could get that. That's cool. I was never trying to like super flex on nothing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
when I got the 7 Series, it was just to get something bigger than what I had. I had the 5 Series, so then
Yeah.
I just got the bigger one, and then I ended up wrapping it because it got keyed. Like it got all
Oh.
fucked up. I went through
You
some
know
crazy
who-
shit. So then it was just like,
What-
fuck.
what
Hater?
crazy
Was
shit?
it
Yeah, we're here for the
ex-girlfriend or
crazy
was some
shit.
haters or
No,
what?
yeah, it was just like some crazy ex fucked my shit
Oh,
up. So
okay.
I don't
That's
even
not
talk
that
about
good.
it.
Yeah,
so it
that's
was
not
just
good.
like, just fuck my shit up. So that's why I wrapped it. I wasn't gonna leave that.
But it
car
was
stock.
copper, right?
Yeah, and I wrapped it some crazy copper, put black rim, but I was never gonna do nothing to it. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Just
my
gonna
whole
drive it.
style just been like,
I remember when you pulled up and Garrett like woke me up. He was like, "Yo, Carly's downstairs. What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're filming a day in life." He goes, "With you?"
that's all.
I was like, "I've known Curly since he's fucking
Oh,
13
yeah.
years old. What do you
Hell
mean,
yeah.
Garrett?"
Dude, I love
Because
your
remember
Garrett
that-
impression,
That was
I'm
at the
not
time.
gonna it's so good.
On point.
That was at the time when it was like Deadline was getting put out and Market was getting put out. So I don't know if you remember. There was kind of like a little war.
You just
it wasn't
couldn't
a
be fucking
war.
with each other
we
like
would
that.
go
It was
hang
like,
out at your guys' house, but be like,
what spot? Who did what?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what?
I know Christian texted me, but did you really do that? And you'd be like, nah, I didn't do the ice to bar. I'd be like, I knew it, Christian.
Yeah.
I knew it.
It was like that. Yeah. But it was all love. It was
it was so
funny.
fun.
We were just in the
It
middle
was
of
so
filming
fun.
shit, you know?
It was such an inner. Nobody knew we had a mini war because everybody's just texting everybody like, "Yo, for real, you really went to that spot like after we went
like
last
that.
week." Like,
It was like that.
but yeah, you had the. I remember going outside and be like, "This is your fucking car. I didn't know you were getting it." Like I knew you were getting it, but I was like, because Lil Sean was on that type of timing
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like remember he had the
Yeah.
Benz, and I used to showcase him because I love that aspect because I never made any money from this shit, and I was always like the homie. So when Sean got his Benz and he was like very flamboyant about it, I was like, wait, let's show this shit off, you know? And like
facts.
you weren't really flamboyant, but like when I went to film it that day, I remember you were like, "Oh, you get in the car? All right." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting in the car. What the fuck do you mean am I getting in the car? Like, you bought this from bike riding? Like, this is unreal." Like,
It is crazy, yeah.
so you're just,
So that.
so you didn't go to college. You just
It's
fucking,
I just want to
go.
He bought it from bike riding, but that's a thing in bike riding. I feel like nobody wants to like acknowledge the fact that you can make money off it, and if like you make money off it, like you're not cool, and the cool people are the ones that are just doing it, not making any money off it. But it's like that's a stupid mentality to have. It's like,
just like at that time.
you have to be part of the 1% club, though.
do what you love, but like if you're making money off it, like you shouldn't. We shouldn't get shamed for it. You know what I mean?
I
like
think
not
the only people
everybody's
that
gonna
really
make
get
money
shamed
for it.
is like
it's just-
Nigel.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand it.
But also,
You
like
know?
at that time, it just would feel uncomfortable to boast or like post anything about it if you knew like there were OGs in the game that I look up to that
Dennis
might
and
not
Garrett.
got it like that, you know? So it'd be like, oh, I don't want to like be disrespectful on some like show my shit. I'm just want to be like, bro, there's people in the game before me that might not even got a Beamer or I look up to Steve-O. I look up to all these people in the game beyond like, so it was never for me to like, it just feel like almost not embarrassing, but like I don't want to show this if
See,
he
I think
can't
it's-
get it like that
Yeah.
either.
See, I think
they
it's more
should be able to get it
honestly,
too,
dude.
like,
I really think it's more to just you being around Garrett and Dennis, and they
That
weren't
too.
flashy.
That too.
Because
That's
I would
true.
remember me being me. I wasn't jealous. I was like, dude,
No, it's
this
not
is
that.
Yeah, no,
fucking
I
sick.
think it's
not
awesome.
that.
Like it's
Yeah,
awesome
I
that
love
you,
that
you
shit.
got
Yeah.
something like
You should never feel like
buy
that.
a
You're not
house and a
putting people
car
down.
off
Yeah.
bike riding. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people are able to do that, but it's like it's awesome that you can. You know what I mean? You made something out
And
of
you're
like
smart.
nothing. You know? Yeah, you're
A lot
smart
of
about
people
it.
would have
Like,
spent the money on like, you know what I mean? Like that's hella smart, dude. Like,
and in reality, we should be actually like praising that because like that's gonna make the younger generations and
for
people
sure.
be like, you know what, I can do something with it. I don't have to be a bike rider and just like learn to live off
Yeah.
making nothing
I know.
and get
You
by.
don't.
I can do this and I can live a life doing
yeah.
this for real. You know
I
what
mean,
I mean?
you have to work very hard. Like
Yeah.
you said, you were building up since you were 4 years old. That discipline you learned early on carried. Like I said, Gary doesn't call many people professionals. I said, "Yo, he's coming to my." He's like, "Yeah, see a professional." You know, like he's a professional. And I've always
Out
said,
here.
like I said, going back to the day in the life we filmed. I hit you up. I was like, "Yo, you want to do this?"
I
You're
was
like,
with it.
"Yep, I'll
Yeah.
pick you up. Well, let's go do it." And we
Yeah.
spent the whole day. We did it. You dropped him back off, and that's
Yeah.
why I think Gary was like. How did you get him to pick you up? You're supposed to be picking him up.
It's
like,
like
no,
I-
dude, I'm supposed to film his fucking car. Like, that's why I hit him up. And remember, we went to
So,
Haro. I
yeah,
showed that
shit
little
was
part.
hard.
That's what I'm
Some of
saying.
my favorite day in the life.
It's got 700,000 views.
Hell yeah.
That's what-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Nah, on my
yeah.
channel, we
know.
sold. I think we sold it to him for like $150. Justin Cosman, I know you ripped me off. It's
Oh
all
my
right.
God. Yeah, that too. It's like shit. We be
But
doing
I,
shit like
I
that.
didn't know anything. I didn't know
Yeah.
they were getting paid
Yeah.
for views, which is good. I'm glad they did that because they brought it. Surfers were watching that video. Skateboarders were watching that video. You know what I mean? It was on a different.
It was bigger than that.
Yeah, network A. You know,
Yeah,
so
it
I
was
didn't
cool.
mind. And like I said, he came through too. Like when I wanted to do that, I was like, "Can I do it?" He's like, "Can you?" I'm like, "Yeah, Curly's right down the street. Let's do it." But I would do peep game edits all the time. Remember, and I would get $200 here, 200, and that would save me a little bit, you know. So Cosman held it down for me. But I looked at it the other day. It's like 700,000 views. I wonder if at that time too the ads. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
wonder what they
I
made.
mean, because
Crazy.
especially in the YouTube fucking
Bro.
thing, there were people they
It's probably
probably were making.
2011 or something like
They're
that.
probably making
2010.
bank off it at one point.
Yeah.
But I mean, same thing. That's what my hustle was too. Making videos, making $200, $200, working on a video with someone, make fucking for 2 months.
Contribute to like Vital and shit like that.
All of them.
Yeah, I never really did
All
Vital stuff.
ESPN, Vital. Obviously,
I like doing
fucking
ESPN stuff.
I like ESPN. Yeah.
I would just be like, yo, it's on ESPN.
I did shit with Cosmo. I did network
like-
gay shit. You know what I mean? Or I just did shit direct for companies or whatever. Like, hey, I can work with this rider and just whatever, and they put it on shoe company or bike company or whatever, you know. So, but yeah, it was like $200, $250, like, and then I would do a job with, you know, shout out my homie Cookie, Joey Cedarquist. He is a filmer. He's like, he filmed like,
I remember his name.
He filmed like Domination. You know, he was like with Jerry Bagley, like when he was pro, like, and he was like the dude I looked up to. Like he was I'm like, oh, this dude's a pro filmer. He moved to California, like. That's the dude I wanted to be, for real. And
especially being out from here.
and then when he moved back and stuff, like he did I think he did the BMX 411 BMX stuff, and then he was doing I think he was doing it.
Maybe.
I think maybe Robbie had something to do with that too, honestly.
They all did.
And then I think he was like one of the first people doing like Red Bull stuff. Huh. And then he went back.
Oh yeah, he was actually.
He moved back
to
Massachusetts, and we were just doing random Red Bull shit. Like we would just whatever random Red Bull event, and I would hire me to film, and like, all right, cool. And he'd pay me like $2,000 for a weekend. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I worked for 2 months making a fucking edit with someone, and I got like $200. You just paid me $2,000 to like stand behind a camera on a tripod for fucking 6 hours. That was it. You know what I mean? I was like, this is insane.
And it sucks though when you're young, because you're like looking at it like fuck you, Castillo, you're ripping me off now. Like, you know. But then looking in hindsight, you're like, wait a minute, Red Bull. Volume.
Well, yeah, I mean Red Bull.
But at the time, Volume looks like Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I remember going into Castillo's office when I was trying to be on Demolition and shit, it was kind of dingy. You know, it was like dusty and shit. But I was like, this is fucking sick. Like especially with like Tip Plus. If you're blind and you think that it's like a BMX only warehouse and you don't know nothing, you're like, this is crazy. This is crazy. We will have a peep game warehouse like that with all the shoes.
You know
Don't worry.
I mean? Like,
don't you worry. There will be some CK 619 aisles where you can pick out your shits. But yeah, I don't even know where the tangent came from. But yeah, we were fucking talking about how you could. So you didn't go to college. That was the moral of that story. We didn't go to college. You were just filming, market, and in between all that shit, just riding. Riding was so flourishing that you were doing contests, trips, filming.
That was pretty much that. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Where's the craziest? Like, where did you used to go to? Like all like the France contests and like all that type of shit, or no? You just stayed do tour.
I did do that once, but like more. Like I was probably 2018 or something when I did one of the feast ones in France, but I didn't do that growing up. I didn't really do those ones.
And
I did like Simple Sessions.
I was gonna say Simple Session,
right?
right?
It would be like this stuff when I was.
And
younger.
Simple Session was crazy back then, or
that
what?
Shit was crazy.
Simple Session was. I never went to Simple Session, but it was the craziest shit. Every story that I heard was insane.
That shit was crazy, especially being the age I was at, 16, 17.
You're like a superstar.
You're able to get into places like. It was dope. Yeah, it was fucking.
They have you on billboards and shit, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that was his own thing, but. Yeah, I haven't been in so long. Like that's just a wild ass fucking party. You know?
Yeah, no, I never.
I was just like not trying to like do all that shit.
Yeah, you lived it one time. You're like, all right, you're good. Well, you're smart. Obviously, the theme of this podcast is that you're very smart.
Hey,
you're very, very smart, honestly. Because you could have made bags and spent them. You know what I mean? Your mom taught you how to save. You said you were saving since you're little. I can't. I'm 35. I can't save. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she put me on.
I never got the financial fucking education to be smart with my money like that. You know,
with BMX too, it's like I feel like back then I had a lot of opportunities to kind of make it a big amount of money like that at the time, comparably to now with like less contests and less like being pushed behind BMX in that sense with that. But then there's other things that come up, like I was telling you, with like social media and stuff. If you can gauge doing that, then it becomes like a nice balance of stuff you could do today. But back in the day, I feel like it was easier for me to stack and save and get to that point, because I was saying, I get 6th place at Do Tour and be hella hype, put that shit straight in the bank, I was just like, you know, like there was more opportunity for that, I feel like, back then than today.
But that it's in our hands. Yeah. Because it skipped a generation. Like Robbie and all them, they're all doing their thing and they made bike companies. Yeah. Now we can't make any more bike companies. Yeah. We have to make cool things like the CK Invitational through Rockstar, and then maybe we can get fucking Heron Preston to do a collection for it or something like that. Yeah. You know, no, I mean, these are crazy ideas, but
that's,
you have to do weird shit like that to get it all flowing again. We're in the position right now where we're the ones that have to either change things, or we're always going to be complaining about like, oh, it's dwindling away, because all the guys before us, the companies they started were bike companies.
Yeah.
So it's all just everyone's taken from the same pot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now we have to figure out like, okay, you guys can keep your bike companies. I don't want the bike company, like whatever. Well, we got to figure out cool shit. Like I said,
We will.
because what if your son wants to do this?
Yeah.
And then
that's
you're
why-
like,
that's
yo,
what be
your son's
bugging
got to
me, though.
compete in the fucking
Yeah.
CK Invitational.
And that's what be bugging me though. Like I'd be like, do I want him in this? Like,
But we got to change
Yeah,
it. That's
like,
what
bruh,
we got to
like-
change it. That's all.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so cool. I think BMX. It took me a long time. I went through that stage of being like, oh, the BMX thing's not cool to tell people, like whatever. You know, like I would go to trade shows and be like, yeah, I'm a pro bike rider,
Yeah,
like
not
whatever.
really be owning
but,
that shit,
but
like-
now it's like, now I realize, like I always say, I'm like, dude, you can land anywhere. You could throw a fucking dart at the map, pick that place to show up, put it on your story, be like, any homies in fucking Uruguay. Yo, you're getting picked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're
I
getting
mean,
picked up.
honestly, I think people that are BMX riders or skaters or whatever, like I honestly, I like those people more than everyone else, because I feel like we're like I've said this before, like we're a different breed. Like we want to do this shit. You're one of the exceptions, right? You got the opportunity to be like pro and make a lot of money, but
But
a
he was
lot of
so
us,
humble.
But a lot of people like just do it because they just want to do it. They're not making a lot of money. They just want to ride bikes, and you get to travel the world, and you get to meet people. Like we have friends all over the world for real, and like you fucking fall and eat shit and fucking break your bones, and like get back up and like try to fucking do that shit over and over again. It just makes us. Everyone that I know that does that is just like, I just have a different respect for than anyone else. You know what I mean?
You can connect. You can relate better.
First
to
bar
people
ice.
like that. First bar ice. Damn, bro. I don't even know where the fuck did I even learn that trick? Because that shit was scary for me to learn. Like that was one of the more scary tricks.
I've never
for me to
done
learn,
one.
But I just remember like one of the first ones I filmed for real down a rail
So
was
probably
in
the
the
first
hunt.
one.
Was in the hunt. Like
The Hunt. Let's
The
talk
Hunt.
about that.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
what?
2011,
Tell the.
so.
Just look at the camera and tell them what the Hunt is. What?
what was the hunt? Was a video contest that we did back in the day. And
What's the day?
2011 back.
It was
See, you're
like
good at
11.
dates.
It was 11 or 12 because I was still around for that.
It was around
Yeah.
2011. So
The
I did that with
Hunt,
Christian.
dude. I forgot you.
Yeah.
That was. I forgot all about that shit, bro.
Hey. Yeah, so it's crazy because people still bring that part up like that's their favorite part. I'll be like, what? That's
What
like my
song was
first-
it?
Tupac's Back and Ace Hood. It's like it's some funny shit. But, bro, it's crazy because that was like
You got to do a remix to Tupac's Back. So
that was like the evolution of like my starting point of like pushing that manual shit, like bar to manual lane
I
back into
remember.
manual, Smith manual. Like it was like
who filmed it?
Christian, yeah, Christian. That was me and Christian's thing right there. The Hunt. That shit was crazy. So that's what kind of like
You won it, right?
yeah, we won that.
So tell
contest.
him what it was.
That
It was a
shit.
video contest.
Video contest.
Because I don't know the exact details. So were you
pick
guys chosen to be in it, or you got or
Honestly,
selected?
don't remember. I think you do get
You get
chose,
selected, right?
yeah.
So who else was in the
And
Hunt?
there was like four other people that were 4 other teams of a filmer and a writer. I don't know if Mike
Yeah.
Gray was in that one or Dylan Stark and like I can't remember who else.
I forget
but
too,
just-
and I feel like
maybe Stevie,
I did
you
stuff
know,
for
like,
that.
yeah,
Honestly,
I was gonna say
Stevie.
like from the Stevie
It was
part.
probably Stevie.
I feel like I
bro,
filmed some
like-
shit for that for real, but I forget low
Tupac
key.
is back.
But I
Yeah,
did
so
stuff
that
with
was-
Cosmin a lot, and he was the one that did that.
Cosmin's
Right?
the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we think we won like $5,000 for that too or something. And that was also
So
like,
if he said
and
$5,000 right here, that
11th grade,
think
that's
about the
crazy.
fucking other money he was talking
He
about.
won't talk
can't-
about.
Yeah, exactly. Just think about that.
But yeah, that was like 11th grade. So I wasn't even a senior yet when that happened. And I was like still for real in high school, like really in the middle of high school type shit. Like
The Hunt, dude.
yeah.
It was a DVD,
It was
right?
a DVD. Oh, I forgot it was even a DVD. I forget shit like that too. But yeah, it was a DVD, but it was a video contest in the midst of it. And you win a ring too. So we got a ring.
You got the Hunt ring?
Yeah, a little ring from it. It
That's
was
fire.
You know who's probably
cool.
gonna ask for that? Fudge is gonna want that. He's gonna be like, bro,
That
what's
shit
up?
is-
Can I get it for the display?
Hell nah. That shit in my display.
Tupac is back.
Hell yeah. That
What's
shit
up,
was
we good?
hard.
He's just saying the
Yeah.
time. He's letting us
Oh,
know. So what is like one of the craziest things that's happened to you?
Craziest thing that's happened to me as far as what like
This I don't know. Like
to what
what's a
extent?
standout moment? Like I don't know. A standout moment for me doing BMX shit was going to China for real, smoking weed on the Great Wall
who
of
you in
China.
China with?
Catfish.
That's crazy.
One of those moments.
We did, like,
probably
the Chinese
same
X
thing as
Games or
you,
some shit,
Like
yeah.
going to Asia, like
Yeah.
Taiwan when I went for a Nike trip, Taipei, just being like being for real on
You went on a
Nike,
couple
like,
team trips for filming,
hell yeah. So we
I
would
remember
do
there was
ones
one
like
a Texas one.
we would do that. That was the first one. We did like a Argentina, Buenos Aires.
Oh, I
Then we
remember
did,
that
like,
one. You guys rode the bank things.
We
Yeah,
went
you
to
guys
Malaga,
went nuts.
Spain. We did a Spain one. We did.
Was Nigel on all of them or only a
Taiwan.
couple?
No, he just went to Argentina and Texas. Those couple.
Texas, I
those
remember.
were crazy. Yeah, but that's like traveling when I was younger. That shit was just mind blowing. Like, and being on Nike at the time, because like I was like in the club, like so young. Like I don't know how old I was, but like there was like a head up Nike dude in there, like just treating me, you know, like this was crazy. Like I could, and even Losi was
Would
like,
you fly first
not
class
even
and
letting
stuff?
me- Nah, not first class, but it was like good seats, whatever. I was a kid. I didn't even
who
care
cares?
about shit.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I was just
But
wondering.
it was nice hotels. It'd be
Was
like,
Losi in
damn,
first
like I said,
class?
probably because
Glenn
he
and
traveled so
Losi?
much.
Or
They had miles, so they had it like that. But I don't even think Garrett had it like that because he traveled a lot, but he didn't like.
If Garrett
have
had
no
a
mileage
first class
thing.
ticket,
He didn't get no
he
mileage.
would fucking
thing.
be like, "What the fuck?" Like I'm saying back there with the homies, dude.
For real.
He would be
For real.
embarrassed to be in first at that time. Now he'll be like, "Yo, fuck off. I'm in first class. Like you guys can sit back there."
But that kind of shit when I was that young was just like Losi would have to take me from the club. Like, you can't be out this late. Like, I'm just like looking out for me though.
Yeah.
Like just so I don't get into some crazy shit. And then like I just remember certain
And you
nights like
screaming,
that. I'd
"Tupac
come
is
out,
back!"
go to the hotel, and he would for real just like wait out front just in case I come sneaking back out. You know, like I just remember
paid
shit
good.
Like, I just remember,
chaperone
like,
for real.
yeah, like,
I mean,
it
that's
was,
good
like,
though. That's good to be like watching all
good
like that.
memories of just like, damn, bro, we're just young and wild. We're like, Losi got to make sure like we just don't leave again, you know, or like. So I don't know. There's not like anything that stands out in particular, but like shit, like as far as injuries, something that's crazy. Like I fucked my jaw up, which like I feel like was like one of the most traumatic things of my like injury list.
Yeah.
Like all these teeth are
Doing
fake,
what?
like implants. Like
When
I was
was
at
this?
OB, probably 2015 or 16.
Really?
Yeah, and I had no teeth right here I barely got these like a year or two ago. And so I always had this gap when I smiled, all these teeth. So I broke my jaw. I was at OB and I was just sessioning at the skate park. That's like, I used to always session OB. I don't go there as much anymore, but I was just hitting a line, bro. And like the homie got in the way, but he didn't know he was in my way. And I have a free coaster and I have headphones on. It wasn't like, he couldn't even hear me. And I didn't even want to say anything like to spook his line. So when I landed, I went a different direction and took my speed to like a hip that was my opposite way. When originally I was taking my speed to hit a normal hip.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like didn't realize I was going to land flat. So I just buckled when I landed low and my chin hit the crossbar, you know? and just
Oh no
crunched.
fucking way!
And then I landed, I was just like looking at my headphones, pulled them out because it was like bleeding like on the floor. I'm like, oh shit, I split my chin, you know? Because it was like gashed open. Then I'm like, oh shit, my teeth were all fucked up in my mouth. And I was like, bro, I can't even do shit right now. Like, I got to get my stitches first because I knew my chin was just gushing blood.
Oh my
So before I even
God.
got to the teeth, bro, I had to go do that. Went to the ER, handled that. And then I couldn't go to the dentist. I had to make an appointment for the next day anyway. So
my
overnight, my
God.
teeth was falling out. Like, crazy shit was happening.
like nightmare shit.
And then I remember I was on Nike at the time. Losi was sending me hella smoothies to the house, like, because I couldn't eat nothing, like nothing soft that I thought. Even the warmth of like a soft burrito, bean and cheese or something would just kill the nerves.
I'm
you know?
doing that right now. I got
So
punched
it's
in the
like,
face the other day, and my fucking
it's
I can't
just
chew.
fucked up. Like I think that was like probably one of the worst crashes like I ever had to handle. And it's funny because when I was younger,
That's
and
not
I
what you're
used to
doing
race,
rehab for right now. Or
No, my back. I had like a strain in my hip and like lower back problems.
we'll get
when I was
into all
younger,
that, but keep telling the
But
story.
yeah, when I fucked my jaw up, I had to like wait a day to go to the dentist and get that shit figured out. And then when they did clear it all out, I just had it was just blank right here, just filled with like cow bone or whatever, marrow, whatever. And then like I didn't get implants for so long because I knew it costed so much.
Yeah.
And just getting these, this was 16 bands just to get my
Jesus.
like 3 teeth on the left side.
You
And they're
should've
big
went to
ones. They're,
fucking
like,
Mexico for that
I
shit, for
know,
real.
people were saying
Yeah.
that, but I just got it handled more recently. And I
That's
went like
smarter.
almost 5 years without even having them because it was just on the side,
Yeah.
you know. But
Maybe eating fucking food on the other side of your mouth
yeah,
and
and
shit.
I just didn't want to like live my whole life that way. So I felt like my shit would get uneven. So I knew I wanted to fill my teeth up at some point. But it's crazy because when I was younger, I hit my face hella hard too when I was racing. Like racing had probably gnarlier crashes almost, you know, because I was younger and sketchier and racing clipped into pedals. It was just like gnarlier crashes.
Just people crashing into each other.
Yeah. And like I remember I was just riding practice when I was super young and I fell, and it was a practice with mixed. It was like a local race, so there was like older dudes riding and younger kids riding. It was just practice. So I fell and some older dude ran over my face. I had a full face, but my whole face swelled up. You know, my dad raced me to the ER and shit, and like I remember just having a huge black eye and having to go to school with like a fucked up looking deformed face. And it's like, I was always down for the shit, I swear. Like, just cause like riding, like, it never told me to like not get back on the motherfucker. It was just like, this is a step back to like, to what I love doing. But I try to, you know, stay as safe as possible. Like the style riding I do, y'all even know, like it take me hella long to do, but it's not no stunt man like Dennis riding. Cause I'm just not, I don't got that like, I do got it in me to be brave, but I don't like want to like get hurt. It's really what I'm trying to say.
The big truck downstairs.
No, there's some shit I like doing. I'm
just saying there was a huge point in time whenever you had to truck the biggest set. Yeah, you know, it was probably around the hunt time. I don't know.
It was around that and market days for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What was your favorite part of filming market? Like trips. I remember the RV used to get stuck everywhere, right? That was the whole thing.
So that's like where I make most of the memories from. Is like,
didn't someone refuse to go on trips on the RV after like the third time?
I don't think
it was you.
I don't think I refused, but it's probably after a few you realize, well, I'd probably fly there, bro.
Yeah, see,
I fly there, bro. But the RV has some cool stories, bro. Just getting stuck and having to deal with being stuck, you know, and you with your friends though, so all you got is each other, and you just start telling stories, start smoking, chilling, like, and for some reason them be the best memories because you just bond so close.
For real.
And then nights where it's so dark you see every star. Yeah. You know, you just certain things where it's like once in a lifetime kind of experience. Like you don't want to be stuck where you're at, but shit, if we gonna be stuck, I'm glad we're all together.
Yeah, just make the best out of it. Yeah,
those are probably the best memories. Is just the traveling aspect together. And like, shit, I probably bought my first sack of weed on a market trip, and they was all pointing at me, talking about, that's it, you're done for. Like, you bought your own now, bro. You bought your own. You're in it now.
You're one of those like, nah, I'll smoke it if someone else.
If someone else rolled up, I'll hit it. You know, type of dudes. But like, they're like, nope, you bought your own now. You done. And I remember like I was in New Mexico, in Albuquerque on a filming trip, and I was hella be bugging Christian like, bro, how do you roll these papers? You know, like. Because it was just, I didn't understand how to do it, and I just kept practicing. He's like, bro, you're going to have to just keep practicing. And like,
well, I don't know. You remember me, you, and D-Hart, you were smoking at a Dew Tour one time. We were smoking, and I remember you couldn't roll. You were like, yo, can you just roll?
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't. I even remember, I went to Barcelona for a Nike trip with like AK and like Daniel Tunte.
That's
and, like,
dope.
A random European squad.
Tunte is dope,
which was sick as fuck. But I remember AK teaching me how to roll up there too, and like I've had hella advice from different people to where I learned how to do it eventually. Like, But I got hella advice from just other people. Like it's just
you got a nice roll. Spitter would approve. Spitter would approve. Speaking of that, you said you're going to.
I'm going to New Orleans. I go to New Orleans next week. We're dropping a Jet Life collab bike with Haro and my brand Seek Life. It's like a 3-way collab, but it's been in the works for a couple years. I think COVID even got in between it with like manufacturing and getting it here on time, and then some back and forth on getting it here, but it's finally here. And like I met Currency and showed him the bike.
Who put you on a Currency?
You guys, bro, I feel like you guys probably put me onto Currency, honestly, back in the day.
We were hanging out with Dame, and Dame was with Currency that whole time.
In videos, like, you were probably the first. You guys, you and Trip, like Trip videos, and like, I don't know. I just remember like Currency always being a part of it. But I always knew those songs, so it's like I grew up on that kind of shit just from going to school and like having the homies that listen to Wiz, Currency, you know, all that type of shit. So if you used it, I'd be like, no way, you know, like this edit's hard, you know, like so that's how I always like translated BMX edits was always.
And now
music,
you're doing a bike
always
with
music, So it's crazy.
That's crazy.
So you going to New Orleans? Is he meeting up with you?
Yeah. We're doing a day where we're gonna shoot our promo for the bike.
That's pretty fucking.
So sick.
How else could you do this without bike riding?
I don't know.
How else?
I
It's
don't
crazy,
know.
right?
You wouldn't-
And because of bike
it's
riding, you're
amazing.
hanging out with Spitta.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you guys are friends, homies. You're about to be riding on these fucking pegs. And he
Pause.
was asking me recently about your music. I said you weren't doing music. I didn't think you were still doing Rambo.
Yeah, I was asking about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Chris was asking me. I didn't know, and then the whole time while we were hanging out, you just showed me a whole album.
I just make stuff all the time. I just don't put it out. So I just don't like. It's like not embarrassing, but kind of embarrassing. Like it's like some shit I just like keeping tucked.
How did
It's
you
like,
get into doing music?
I started
Bitch, he's
recording
Rambo.
music- yeah, way before Rambo, but I started recording music in middle school. I was performing like talent shows. Like
Oh, really?
like I have songs like it's probably on YouTube. You honestly probably pull that bitch up. But I was like 13 performing in middle school, and I had like a whole song I had recorded, and I got put on because I had always recorded music on GarageBand myself. I don't know how I figured that out. But then there was a dude that lived next to me in Navy housing because I would live next door to Navy housing, and he was like a producer, did it on his free time. So I made a song with him, and it was like low key, kind of like produced kind of well, you know?
Yeah.
So then I used it and just did like little talent show with it, and then like I met
Who's
my
got
friend
the talent
Pat.
show footage? Your parents?
I don't even know.
Sorry, I'll find out. I'll
I don't
figure it
know.
out. We'll figure
It's
it out.
on YouTube though, probably.
We'll
'cause-
figure it out.
Yeah, and I met one of my friends in school who liked music too, and I taught him how I was recording, and then he got hella good at it. So since we graduated from high school, he went to school for music and like engineering and all that kind of thing. So like now when I go to make music with him, we just go to his room and he's got all his whole setup, and he can like literally master a song, and like we make the beat from scratch. Like it's
Yeah.
just something I've been doing for so long that it doesn't even feel like it's like something that I do, because that's just a part of me. You
It's
know?
just-
I just
but
been rapping for so long.
You know,
that
do
I
you
just-
do you want to take it somewhere, or you just want to just keep it as a hobby, or just whatever
I
happens
don't know. I
happens? type?
don't necessarily think of taking it anywhere,
Yeah.
because like I don't think I need to have like. I don't want to have that type of like nothing to uphold for being, you know, that type of artist. Like I love music so much, but I don't think I want to be in a position of being that dude to like do it. But if it naturally happens.
Who's the skateboarder that went crazy after he fucking?
Who? Terry Kennedy?
No, I mean he killed somebody. Jeremy Rogers.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Rogers,
yeah,
yeah.
just say
He went
I just
crazy
never-
after he made music,
I
right?
just never, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's
I'm
probably
not-
what scares you, dude. We lived through the
I don't
era.
think
of-
I'm gonna go crazy, but I just think I'm just like it's artistic to the point where like I don't know if I want
Nah,
to
but
show
his-
the public my
Yeah,
shit,
his
you know? I
backlash
don't
though
know.
from skateboarding
Weird.
was a weird. It showed everyone like,
Don't try that.
yeah, I think
know.
so, dude. I
I
really
know.
do.
So there is a
But
little
he was
bit
a
of that.
fucking
Maybe
psychopath.
He
was,
like,
but
he
at
just
the-
weird as fuck.
Just
you know?
imagine turning on TMZ skateboarder that tried to be a rapper. Now he's nuts. I don't know. And the skateboarding community hated that shit. But I think you would get embraced if you just put out music. I think.
I just-
Like I said, Panza used Rambo. I used Rambo.
That's old too. Like
That's hello. That's
Hella
like
old.
yeah. That's fucking market days, right? Or
I
before.
recorded that in like my kitchen because my homie would bring all his stuff to the house, like 'cause he could bring it all. And that was before he even got good at recording that kind of stuff. He's so much better now. But I don't know. Like I have a lot of music. It's just I think I just need to try to put it out and see how people feel about it and maybe give me confidence. But at the same time, like I said, it's like kind of feels embarrassing that I do it. It's
Well,
like,
you kind of need the
I don't
fucking
know if-
embarrassment so
Yeah,
that
I
you
don't
still
know.
work on it.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's true.
mean? Like somebody, whatever, fuck them.
Yeah.
Just put it out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just never get the
We gotta
push,
play it
you
at the
know?
CK Invitationals.
Hey man, I'll play my music. It's never that, but it's just I think really trying to pursue doing it. Also, I don't have that drive like this. I have something that I love and I'm passionate about and do. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like I need to find nothing to like overwrite that or overwrite myself and what I've done or like. So I try to just do it on the long side of, you know, who I am and what
Yeah.
I do. So even like my lyrics are literally like talking about bike riding and my family and shit, like how I've done this shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's not nothing fake and nothing that's trendy or like it's really just how I really want to make music.
Like I said, if
So
you were talking
I
about
ride
flipping packs and all that,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
everybody
too-
would
you know?
go hard and make fun of you. But not make fun of you, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, it's
but
like faking
the shit
you
that
know.
you're spitting, I think you'd find some the family would like it. You know what I mean? The BMX community would probably
Yeah,
have your
be
back.
love.
You know, because I
Oh,
think
yeah.
everybody knows you love this shit,
Yeah.
and like you know you are one.
No,
of
within the community, I think people fuck with it. BMX,
Yeah.
for sure. But I think
No,
it's
that's
like,
good.
you
I
know,
mean, I think
yeah.
that's what in the BMX, that's the one thing I did hate. Like somebody that like did something that strayed from the norm or what people in BMX normally did, that people would like hate on it.
People just don't get it.
Fuck with it though. Yeah. Like there's times I went to Hastings, bro. Creasy would have me out there just DJing. Like I would DJ the after party and then let me.
I was gonna say, didn't you perform at like a Simple Session or something like that? Or I remember seeing something online. Yeah,
but there's
Rambo.
Like, I performed Rambo in Russia. I was in Russia.
You're probably on the radio in Russia.
I performed that shit in Russia. That shit was turned up with TJ. Like, I'll never forget. Dennis was in the crowd. He was like, bro, I looked up and it felt like I was in a real concert. Like, you were like really doing that and the confetti was popping off. It was so crazy.
Who has footage of that?
I got that footage for sure. That shit, I was on Instagram. I probably took it down. Archived it. I didn't take it down. Archived that bitch probably, but
Catfish performed.
But then I had like, dude, I performed at House of Blues in San Diego. I performed at.
Wait, how?
Because there's like fuck, I don't even remember, but like there was there's like local artists to come in and they invited my homie who I made Rambo with. He's like, bro, I'm performing Rambo. Pull up. So I performed that. Then I performed at UCSD College too, and we performed.
You did a tour.
Rambo. We did Rambo. That shit went crazy. Like it was.
Yo, we have to make a music video to Rambo at this point.
No, I'm mad I didn't at the time.
No, we have to now. You said it like 100 times already.
I know. I mean, we can.
Leave a comment if you want a Rambo music video.
For real. But yeah, music always been a part of my life, and I always wanted to try to do it. So I always tried it. I always wrote. I have like. There's like books my dad be like, you want me to, can I throw this away? Or do you care about this? Be an old book of like old raps I had. Like, I always been trying to rap, but I just never really did it, you know? Like,
you ever be around, well, you're friends with Currency now, right? But like, you ever really be around like artists in the studio, like, or bigger artists in the studio?
I have, but not like that. I mean, like shit. I've been around like ASAP Ferg when I was with them. When I met him and Rocky, I got to go to the studio when he was recording. But I'm just like a fly in the room now. I'm just watching and shit. Yeah. Like, I'm never to the point where I've ever pulled my phone out.
But when you're a fly in the room, that's how you like. That's when you take
absorb the most shit.
That's what like.
I used to think sitting at LRG meetings and rolling up and shit was nothing. And then when I started doing shit, I was like, oh, this is how this is what you got to do.
Because I feel like I'm super observant too. So I like, I'll say less and just be watching.
So you gave Mac Miller a bike too, right?
Yeah, that's when I met Mac Miller around that time too. And he came out the crib to meet me. Like I was like standing right by his pool, like had the Market DVD, had my bike, just like ready to meet him. And he just came
out. Gold bike, right?
Yeah, he came out all tired, like all pale, like he ain't seen the sun, just in the studio. I was like, damn, that's a real artist. Like, oh. I just like a little troll came out of his little shell or something. I was like, whoa! And he just took a photo of me. I showed him the video. He said that shit was dope, and it was cool.
You showed him the video?
The video. Like, this is the video for you. This is our shit. This is dope. Whoop-de-whoop. Like, I didn't play it.
I was like, what?
Nah. We didn't sit down like some extra shit.
Nah, let's sit down and watch it. I'm gonna explain what everything is.
Nah. Dude, if that was Sims back in the day would do that shit to you. Like, hey, y'all want to watch my part?
Like, turn that shit on.
Dude, he used to text us when he would do a trick. He would send a text and be like, just manualed up 20 stay. You're like, word?
Just some insane shit.
Yeah, send that over. Shit, I want to see.
But you gave Mac Miller a bike. I always thought that was crazy.
But I've never been around an artist like and showed him my shit, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And like really been like, hey bro, I tried this too, cause like that shit. I ain't ever trying to be goofy like on some shit like that either. Like if bro is like, bro, I ride. Of course that would be hard. Like I would think that is so dope. But like if it's like me feeling like I suck at riding and or I'm not good at music, I ain't gonna show you nothing. You know what I mean? Like I'll show y'all the other homies. Like
but still, like even if you like post it, you have a lot of people different type of people that follow you now. I always notice that. Like I'm kind of a nut job, so I'll click when like I see someone. I'll be like, oh, he follows Chad. He's the only bike rider they follow. That's cool. Like a rapper or you know what I mean, or a designer or something. And it's like if you post that shit, who knows? Maybe someone be like, yo, let me get a fucking 16 on my just because they know who you are. You know what I mean?
Really, even just being around, like just
that's what I'm saying.
To me, watching people make music is one of the most interesting things.
Facts.
Everybody makes it different, and like how, even last night in the studio, watching two different artists, like two huge artists, and the way they're making, they're on the same song. They're on the same song, and like the way they approach it differently. You know what I mean? And like how each one does it. And I was like, I'm still
I love
baffled
shit like
by
that
it.
too. Yeah. So I'll be sitting there watching that. That's why I showed you my YouTube, because I'm gonna post that shit and let the world know how like that I love it and that I got to go do some cool shit, but like I really do love it. It's not to flex it. Like it's like I just went to
now you do YouTube, yeah. So
well, I have a YouTube channel, but I just stopped posting for a little bit.
Yeah, but like what? Like everybody was so anti YouTube for as long time. Do you feel like you have to do it, or you enjoy it? You want to do it?
I feel like I want to do it.
Yeah. To show things
when
like that.
people were anti YouTube, I don't think I ever was super anti YouTube. Like I don't think, like if anything, if I was hating, it was like hating on some goofy shit that was happening, but not on.
I don't think I ever thought you were hating on anything.
You know
I think you
know what I mean. Like if there was anything on YouTube, it was like I just didn't feel like that was my lane at the time, but I knew it was cool. Like, I always watched it, so I knew YouTube was dope. And like I go back to my account and it's like, bro, I've been posting YouTube shit for so long, like skits with me and my friend, music, performing it. Like I've always tried hella shit and I've always been on it, but like I'd just be private or do it for myself, you know. But like
same with the music.
Yeah.
How many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
I just made it to 14,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
You took a nice little break though, right?
Took a little break,
like 2 months or something.
Yeah, just to catch
well, it's
what
hard.
I really want. It's hard
YouTube
to
is
keep
hard.
it going. It's hard
Yeah.
to be consistent, and then it's hard to feel good about everything you put out too.
Yeah.
Which you
You
got to
have to-
understand that it's just putting shit out, but I just wasn't understanding.
You have to accept things may not be as perfect as you want it to be, and you
Yeah.
just have to just let it go. And putting out
Have you
content.
ever seen one of his videos? He's got the funniest intro ever. It's just him dancing, like, yo, it's the best.
Because we was like kind of clowning on the YouTube shit, just like
I love
fuck
it.
it, like this is just our intro.
I told you it's my favorite part of the video every time.
Hell yeah, that's good to know. I think hella people be fucking with the intro too, but sometimes I'm like, bro, this shit is so goofy, like. But people like that shit. Fuck it. It don't matter. Like
not enough
I just, like,
personality in BMX, and you need to show yours.
Yeah, and you got to remember, like, you know, obviously BMX is what you come from and what you do, but
Yeah.
like, there's so much more out there. Like,
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot more.
You start
to
with
me,
BMX,
you know?
but then it can just open. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I came from BMX too, and I did BMX media content, whatever the fuck you want to say. But like, I used all that shit that I did in BMX, and now I use it in like the music shit. You know what I mean? And like the rap shit, and I just. Same thing. I'll hang out with an artist, and I'm just doing a day in the life. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Sure.
It really is just like, duh, I'm just whatever. I'm hanging out with this artist for the day. Like I'm just doing a day in the life video, like I would do for if we were hanging out and I had to do a day in the life for you for premium or whatever it is at the time. Like,
well, that's what's crazy. Is like a lot of that BMX stuff I've learned translates to other things, whether it be editing my own YouTube videos, editing all my content on Instagram, to
knowing how
knowing how to film it, knowing how to like.
How to time up the music, what you want to see drop on the beat.
Same with music. Like, it takes hella tries. Like, oh, I didn't get it. Up, run it back. Same thing. Up, run it back. It's like trying to trick. It's like it relates to all that. Oh, let me lay dubs on that part. Like, I want to, let me put an ad lib right here. It's like, you're making it perfect. You have the chance to make it and create it. And, like, I like that process. You know? So it's like, it all comes from bike riding. You know? Like that's like
I think it gives gave all of us like a lot to like to use to work with
life skills, bro.
Yeah,
for real. Hang out with Chris for a day.
Yeah, no, we should. I would love to take you out to the studio and just bring you around some people for real. Like,
I'm
just
down.
chill and see for real.
Yeah, I'm never trying to push nothing either. So it's all organic and natural. You know, waves of
and I'm just like, I'm that person. Like, I'm not a gatekeeper at all. I'm literally like anyone I can link with someone else to like. Like just this week, I linked, a couple producers and stuff I knew with like a big artist. I'm like, yeah, just get in there, just whatever. Like,
I'm sure
I
people
want
don't
something
wanna do
awesome
that,
to come. You know what I mean from it.
that's
Yeah,
dope that you do that.
Because like, why would I? You know what I mean? If I have the opportunity, like, if it's something I can't do, I can't do it. But if it's like if I have the opportunity, like. Just come with me. Just come pull up to the studio with me. Like even some of these guys here, you know what I mean? Like I bring them to the studio, even Brandon or whatever. Like I brought
we
him.
will interview Brandon.
I brought him to the studio like 2 weeks ago to talk about like some marketing shit. You know what I mean? He was like, he sat there and you could tell it wasn't his vibe. You know what I mean? And he's like, now I know why you're the way you are. And like he's like, that was kind of.
Intense.
He's like, it's a little intense, like, you know what I mean? And like, it just wasn't, I felt like I didn't fit in. I'm like, no, you're fine. You just gotta, just chill out and just, it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's getting chilly, and I was supposed to give this to you when you hit the spliff.
What's this? When I hit the spliff?
Yeah. I was like, I was supposed to present this to you.
Presenting.
Well, there's only a t-shirt, but the good, you don't gotta worry about that. It's just a t-shirt, but there's a jacket in there for you.
Oh, what? You put a jacket in this motherfucker?
It's cold. It was supposed to be funny, and I missed my chance before because you stopped smoking. But yeah, welcome to Team Weed, dude.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fire. That's not a sick jacket.
It's fire.
It's got the Montana Ricky quote. It's got
Okay.
fucking,
Yeah, there's a lot of details on this.
El Toro's on the back. That
gotta
stairway.
take
Oh,
to
it's a
heaven.
Team Weed jacket?
I
Yeah.
gotta take this.
Oh, that's
in,
fire.
you know. There's a lot going on this piece. This is fire.
The Ben Hucky.
Come on now.
Oh my God.
What is going on this jacket, y'all?
The El Toro, the stairway to heaven, dude.
This is fucking fire. Wow.
I only had one. I was like, dude, I think it'll fit him. And this is a good
fire.
piece for you, I think.
Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
This is so
Now the world
fucking
knows you
deep.
smoke weed officially.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Hit that shit on camera, man. They seen it, but this is fire.
That's fire. Hell yeah.
Thank you. That's fire.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
No,
he showed the timer before, and I was like, I feel like the memory cards are
Hold
gonna
on, we
run.
gotta-
Yeah.
That's just a T-shirt. Just we're on some green,
Shout out Peep Game. If y'all don't know, we
some
on
green.
green team.
Green game.
Yeah, but shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm just glad that we have people like you in our industry that's like for the culture too, and just making shit that's.
Yeah, not just doing shit like you really are
This is
for
beyond,
the culture, for
you
real,
know,
Steve.
this is-
Like you.
I mean, we love this
Thank
shit. It gives us everything. It's like once you, like I said, like you might have hated BMX when you get out of it for a second, like after you do the TM thing, but now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We brought
Yeah,
up
it's a
we
part
brought
of
up
it.
every podcast. We've talked
Yeah.
to Emwell about it. We talked to fucking Maxwell.
No,
about it.
I still love BMX. Like, you know what I mean? I like we were talking about earlier, like what I loved about BMX was I loved filming and making stuff, obviously, but I loved going to Boston at night. Like, what are you doing
It's
right
the
now? Let's
culture.
go ride. Fucking pull up to the city.
Yeah.
We're riding around. Yeah, we might do a couple tricks. Then we might go pull up to the library and roll like 6 blunts and just smoke and make fun of people and like talk shit
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, that's the best thing. And then when I came here, it was like, nope, get in the van, go to this school, watch this kid try to do this fucking impossible trick for 16 hours. Can't do it. We'll come back tomorrow and do the same thing. And I'm like, I'm not
The
enjoying
culture is
this
very
anymore.
it's like almost like comparing it to a schoolyard. It's very like gray and like not like like that's why we go out on Sundays and like and we just hang out and all that shit. But yeah, BMX rules. I didn't hate it, but I was very upset with it for a long time. My mom used to yell at me all the time, when you gotta get paid, get paid.
Yeah.
And you feel bad as a kid when you're doing that shit, but then like I said, you go to another country and you get treated like royalty. You're like, all right, I didn't get paid my whole life, but this shit's kind of dope. And I wouldn't know how to design. I wouldn't know how to do
Yeah,
fucking video editing. I would have never done it. Same thing, like you said, you wanted to get in the industry. You know how to take photos pretty much from it. You have an eye from it now because you watch so many videos and I don't know. And that's why we wanted you to be the first BMX guest because
Much love.
you're a very good representation. You're X Games gold medalist. You make music. You have a lot of fucking different like a lot of people shout you out all the time. Get your own bikes. You represent us very well, and I love you to death, dude.
love,
I've been
bro.
I've been friends with you a long time, and I think that for somebody who doesn't ride, if they look up your name, it's a cool thing to look up. Like it's like I fuck with you. I love you.
I love you too, bro.
And I'm glad you came. Thank you so much
yeah.
for coming
Thank
for
you for
real.
having
Thank
me,
you. I really
man.
appreciate it.
Thank you for
Yeah, no,
having
it's
me.
been great. Honestly, and it's good to see you. I haven't
Yeah,
seen you in a
know.
minute for
I
real.
know.
Yeah.
I was excited to
Yeah,
see you for
same.
sure.
Same.
Yeah.
So. All right, I
I
think that's
love
it,
you, man.
guys.
Don't hold me to
Thank
you,
you for watching
Yeah.
another podcast. This is a long one, but I think it's a really good one. So
Hell yeah.
until next time,
Jose is gonna kill us.
yeah, Jose is like, he's putting the thing
Right.
up. Hour and 20, hour and 30.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off
Yeah,
the
your ass
camera.
is talking. I gotta edit this shit. Hell
All right, thank you guys.
yeah, it's love.